And we're live! It is time. Oh, wow.
Nice.
Wow, what a way to start. It is time for the third race of the NTT Indycar season 2023, led by...
Pato!
But he hasn't won a race yet, but he has finished second twice. Is this the day that Pato O'ward can win? Well, he's not going to do so from pole because with his first NTT PT P1 award, I don't know. I've fluffed that on the sponsorship. I've gone. I've lost it. It's over. Cole Kirkwood got a pole. Yay for him. No, but Cole Kirkwood, that is very impressive that he got pole position. And Andretti Autosport, they look strong on a street circuit again. Will they actually convert it into good points prediction? Points return? Oh my God. Stephen, please talk. Wow, what a fluff.
No, I'm
what
enjoying this. Yeah, Andretti, as we have seen, Andretti, I'll do bring up the setups for street circuits, but as we've said this year several times, Andretti, we just have no faith in them. There's always a Andretti moment where it's a strategy call, the driver's binned it, something or other, a driver's just been caught in an incident, whatever. Grosjean should have, maybe, could have, possibly had 2 race wins this year, but he's just had Andretti moments. So, but will Cole break the curse? When's Andretti's last win?
I don't know. It was with Colton, wasn't it,
Yeah.
at some point last year? I'm pretty sure they won a race last year.
Right
Or did they go winless?
Did they run that St. Pete?
It might have been that bad. They might have gone winless.
Surely not.
They might have, because they had a terrible season.
It was only Colton, because Rossi and Grosjean went there.
Hello, Scott. Hello, Don in chat. Update on the T-shirts. There's an issue. I put everything back on to go live, and then it wasn't going live on the website. So I may have to look into an alternate supplier for Get. But that is the update on there. Hello, Springfield. Ericsson 0.03 seconds after on used was mega.
Yeah. Great.
Very impressive.
Yeah, Ericsson was good.
Great to see you, Bow in chat. And Frosty Ray, what's up, y'all? Well, we are excited for another race in the IndyCar series. And if the way I started this stream is anything to go by, you will definitely be entertained.
Nice.
Because my words have been bumbling, fumbling, and all over the place. Hi, Carl!
Cole Kirkwood, P1.
Yeah. Look, we were giving our last race our big Malukas update and going that, Cole Kirkwood came into the series as probably more exciting, but Malukas has maybe delivered on a more consistent basis. Well, in steps Cole Kirkwood and says, hold my beer, lads. I'm going to go and get pole.
It was quite a weird qualifying session because we had a late red flag in Q2, which meant Cole Kirkwood, who gambled at the end of Q2, was the only guy with a fresh set of slicks in the final Fast 6 shootout. So he had an advantage, but he still had to get the job done. And absolutely smashed it. But Marcus Ericsson, like someone said, a new set of tyres to come so close to nicking it was mighty. But yeah, Cole Kirkwood. Is this the beginning of his legacy?
Find out. Although, I would say Grosjean, you're going to do a grid run through, but Grosjean, I believe, was P3. Grosjean is still my Andretti. He's not let the previous 2 races affect him. If he can go through and he can convert this into a strong podium or even a win, I still think he's Andretti's best shot this season.
Nearly 50% of the Long Beach winners have started on the front row.
Wow. So, guess it's going to be Marcus Ericsson or Cole Kirkwood then?
Yeah.
Or
flip of a coin.
The other 50%.
Yeah.
Where it's not on the front row.
True.
Oh, yeah. There was Cole Kirkwood's not fortuitous start to the season. or
Shall I
they
give
just
us the grid rundown
yeah, it gives the grid rundown.
before you get distracted with
Absolutely by things on
things.
TV. But yes, we should just round off on the how will the Andretti curse hit today? We don't know, Big C Burger. But as Big C Burger, it is Kirkwood on pole. Yeah, it works. We can work with Kirkwood. Long Beach used to be a snoozer, Stephen. It doesn't seem like that anymore. Absolutely.
True.
Very rare do you get a snoozer of an IndyCar race in this series anymore, with just how the cars pan out and
How
the
competitive it is.
exactly. It just is great. But yeah, Kirkwood's been interviewed. But for now, you guys are going to get a grid rundown from Stephen.
Should we? Because we've actually normally we come in and the race is like 2 minutes away, and it's a bit of a panic, and we're like, "It's lights down, away we go." We only get through like 10 rush. But can we? Do we want to like talk our way through the grid rundown, or do you just want to flat out full speed grid rundown?
No, I think we've got a bit of time before the race, so why not? Let's talk through it, talk a little bit more detail. We can go from there. And commentators were discussing Herta during practice and qualifying. Sounded like Colton may be having a snip being taken away from his dad. 32 minutes until race start. So yeah, let's go from it.
Yeah.
Looks like a monster crowd today.
Already talked about Carl quite a lot, but guy in P2 that you can't overlook, who showed serious speed in qualifying as well, Marcus Ericsson.
And also we know Marcus Ericsson is strong on street circuits.
Yeah.
You know,
His only wins outside the Indy 500.
Exactly. And obviously that's where he won the season opener at St. Pete. Obviously a little bit fortuitous circumstances with Grosjean and McLaughlin losing themselves and taking each other out, and Pato O'ward hitting that kind of pit limiter on his car.
You didn't even have to bring it up.
Yeah, but I did.
I mean,
I did.
You could have just ended at Grosjean and McLaughlin taking each other out. And
Yeah,
not mentioned Pato.
no, I could have done, but I've got to mention Pato, so I went in there. But yeah, Marcus Ericsson is strong on street circuits, and he has shown competitive pace this season as well. Scott thinks Pato is due, but we'll come on to that later when we're talking about that. Anyway, carry on.
P3, Roman Grosjean. You've already spoken about him a little bit.
I have indeed. I'm feeling Grosjean podium today. I don't think he's going to bin it. Or be binned. I think the bins shall be left outside of the race. They've been collected, and now it is just cleared racetrack because the litter's been put away.
Nice. We were talking in the review of Texas that Grosjean feels like a different animal this year. And he's kind of finding that line a bit better. But at the same time, he hasn't finished 2 races out of 2. So really, surely he's just got to finish today. Maybe a podium. He's going to go full beans for the podium. But maybe he's just got to be a bit of a Scott Dixon. Take a result.
I don't ever think I will see the day where Roman Grosjean will pace himself in a championship like Scott Dixon. Roman Grosjean is a very emotive person.
True.
He gives it his all. It is all or nothing. And for the majority of this season, it's been nothing. But today it could...
for the entire season.
Today it could be all. Today could be all.
Yeah. Number 4 on the grid, Alex Palou. What more to say about him than he's just blowing it?
Hello, Palou!
Chip Ganassi cars are looking really good because all 3 of them made it into the Fast 6. Because just behind Alex Palou is Scott Dixon, P5.
Oh, was that all we were going to do on Alex Palou?
I mean...
Well, Palou and Scott Dixon together,
yeah.
I think. Look, it is the master and the apprentice, I would say, in terms of partnership. Obviously, Alex has secured his first championship already, well documented in his first season with Chip Ganassi, and then it all got a little bit messy last year with the McLaren situation and potential F1 seats being dangled in front like a carrot. Although if I was Alex Palou, I would not leave this series. But hey, You've got to do your racing career. You've worked hard to get to that position. You have every right to choose where you want to race. And I don't know what I would do in his situation either if McLaren came knocking in that. Although I'd probably look at their F1 ride this year and probably go, IndyCar works for me. But yeah, look, Pallot's going to do, I imagine he'll finish in the top 5 performance. And Scott Dixon has been there or thereabouts as well all season. So I imagine they're both going to be competitive, bar any kind of, poorly timed yellows affecting fuel strategy, cycling them to the back. I think they're going to be very competitive and maybe one of them or both of them sneak onto the podium.
They've got a great car. The only team to have all their entries into the Fast Six. Got to have pace there. And then rounding up the Fast Six is Pato O'ward.
Pato!
Championship leader.
And he had led both practice sessions, hadn't he?
Was looking real quick in qualifying and then locked it up and kind of fluffed his final lap.
But just because he fluffed the final lap, Pato is very strong.
Yeah.
And obviously, he won't have the best of memories here.
Don't even say his name.
Ed Jones! But he obviously will be wanting to correct those wrongs. And obviously a championship fight that slipped away. Potentially this is a place where he really ignites and puts like a firm stance on his championship title bid this season. Definitely don't rule Pato out from 6th. I think he's just in a place right now. He is the form driver in the series right now. Mm-hmm. He looks in a great place.
And in theory, he doesn't even need a result here. Pato has the calmness that he could just do a Scott Dixon and just finish in the top 6. He's the championship leader. You don't need to make stupid mistakes early on. Just a solid performance. Qualifying, he's qualified up there. Interestingly enough, though, he is the highest starting on the primary tyres. The previous 5 that we've gone through all are on the alternatives, and he is then on the primary.
Now, this strategy can either really work out or really backfire. It is a risky one going on a different strategy to everyone else.
Mm-hmm. The race tyre is predicted to be the green alternatives. So what he's effectively doing is...
get it out of the way early. But the problem is you saw that. Obviously, you didn't get alternative primaries in Texas. It is just the kind of one compound on the ovals. But you see in a stint where your tyres, you have a disadvantage in your tyres early doors. If you drop back, it may be difficult to kind of make those places up as Will Power found in Texas.
Especially for a street circuit. The key for him is going to be pitting early and trying to do on an undercut with a fresh set of alternatives in that after that first window, around that first window. But it's whether he's still in touching distance of the top 5. Coming out P7, Colton Herta. The 3rd Andretti car. Colton. Been really nowhere this year. Interesting thing from chat?
Sorry, I was just reading the Pato issue. I think he mentioned it last race, actually, was a freak vapor lock in the plenum.
So the St. Pete?
Yeah. So that's why it wasn't a driver error. It's just his car decided to go from there. 2 pit stop has a 75% chance to win, and 3 pit stop has a 25% chance to win. Interested to see who goes with what. Always interesting there. Was not expecting the Porsche GTP to come away with the win. I think discussion is the IMSA race was very interesting today. It sounds crazy, which is good. Means that, potentially we're going to have a bit of a crazy IndyCar race unfolding, but not crazy like Nashville, because we don't want Stephen to have to walk off stream again. We want him to see it through to the end.
Please.
We don't have I don't believe we can bet on IndyCar races outside the US. Hey, Wax man, good to see you. Yeah, I don't think we can. No, we mentioned, Nashville. It's a race that we have to get to at some point this year, and all we can do is pray that it is not like the previous 2 years.
Which it is. It's going to be. The prayers will be unanswered because God will go, you need to be realistic with me here.
Stephen's prepared.
I can't grant you miracles left, right, and centre and give you a good Nashville race. I gave you Spaceman Ericsson. What more do you want from me?
What was so bad about Nashville? Well, I suppose it depends on your perspective. If you wanted absolute carnage, chaos, and unpredictability, then Nashville delivers that in bucket loads. If you wanted racing where there was like a consistent bit of green flag racing and, it was really interesting how it plays out on track, then Nashville's probably not the race for you.
Nice.
As long as it's not as bad as the after run race, we should be in for a good one. Absolutely. We're fine.
Back on track with the
We're
grid?
good. Absolutely. Back on track with the grid.
Colton Herta, B7.
So, Colton.
The man struggling for anything. He was stardust, and now he is dust.
Wow. Wow.
Currently dust.
Colton, obviously, is one of the drivers we were lucky enough to interview.
Mm-hmm.
The guy seems very driven. And there is no doubting that on his day, he is electric and so fast.
True. One of the fastest.
But I don't know. Does Colton Herta ever win an IndyCar championship?
Things ain't right with him and Andretti right now.
I think maybe leaving Andretti would be good for him.
It feels like the partnership has got nowhere. You kind of worried that Pato and McLaren could go that way, but they've really built and they've really improved together. Besides, like Herta and Andretti have just gone backwards.
Well, yeah, Grosjean's coming forward. Realistically, we had that. So we did that interview, and Colton said, I wanted to win
2 out of the last 3. And he went on and won 2 out of the last 3.
Yeah, and he had a good chance of winning 3 out of 3.
2021 was a great year for Colton.
It's so tough to watch because he's such a good driver. But yeah, you're right. I can't put... Something goes wrong. And yeah, his split with his dad, I don't think it's gone down too well. He looked like he was building a good partnership. But you could even argue last year, although he was leading in the Andretti pack, there was still kind of... It just wasn't working, was it?
No.
He might be good just, like I said, removing himself from the team completely, going somewhere else. Someone will snap him up. But I guess if he leaves Andretti, the only places to go is Arrow McLaren, but Rossi's taken that seat, or a Penske and Ganassi. And would they be open to a Herta right now?
No. Third Colton. Rounding up the top 10. Well, I won't do all 3 together, but we then have 2 Penskes in 8 and 9 in Joseph Newgarden and Scott McLaughlin, both failing to get into the Fast 6. Penske not looking too strong this weekend at Long Beach.
I don't think Penske...
I said they're both in the top 10, but still.
And who was that? Sorry, that was Newgarden.
Newgarden 8, Scott McLaughlin 9.
And where's Power?
He didn't make it out.
Wow.
Q1.
Yeah, I feel like this season's just going to be a consolidate, maybe go for a 500 season and go again next year now that he's secured his big contract. Power. Yeah, I just feel like he's not going to be... He just doesn't feel in the running at all this year.
He's P13.
Yeah, and that pretty much sums up his season.
Yeah.
And I love Will. And I'm so happy for him to win last year. But yeah, it has not clicked so far this year for sure. Wouldn't rule out Newgarden and McLaughlin because they are definitely two drivers who can make their way up through the field, so qualifying in the top 10. But this is their thing. Penske's do tend to maybe not necessarily have the greatest qualifying packages.
I will say, on Newgarden, he was very downbeat after qualifying. He was very confused and lost of where the pace was with the car. Maybe they're trying a different setup, or something felt off with the car for him. So it may not just be a bad qualifying, although maybe the car is just more suited for the long runs. He said he didn't know how the long runs went. So
I will never take seriously what Joseph Newgarden says, whether he's really excited about the car
true.
or whether he's downbeat about the car. Because as soon as you put Joseph Newgarden in the car, he's really competitive.
True.
Very rare does he have an off day.
Yeah.
So it could happen like that. I think Scott McLaughlin, like I said, both of them, if you tell me now, like someone who's been in the future and goes, Scott McLaughlin and Joseph Newgarden finish in the top 5 this race, I would not be surprised.
True. Rounding up the top 10, Felix Rosenqvist in McLaren, Arrow McLaren. For once, qualifying didn't really go his way. Obviously, after getting pole in Texas and being a very strong qualifier, couldn't really put it together. And race, he's always gone backwards, but maybe start P10, he may not go backwards. We'll see. But I think disappointing for Felix. And also Rossi's just behind him in P11.
I think at some point, Felix is going to have to step up. Rossi has had his usual luck over the past 2-3 seasons, but he has looked better in that Arrow McLaren this year. He looks more like the Rossi of old. And obviously, you know, it was unfortunate that kind of pit release with Kirkwood at Texas last year. He was running well within the kind of top 6, wasn't he, at that stage, I believe?
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe would have even had a shot for the race win if he'd managed to stay just on 1 behind on that lead lap, if he'd stayed there. But Felix Rosenqvist is now getting to that stage where I think he's in real danger of keeping his seat next year.
Yeah.
I know we're 3 races in and I don't want to be sensationalist and go from there, but his IndyCar career hasn't really ever kicked off. Showed plenty of promise. He's shown plenty of pace at times, but he hasn't really kind of kicked off. Scott, love it. Smash the like button. Look, 8. We've got 18 of you in here. 8. Don't you know, if we get to 20, we're going to get a boat?
We're going to get a new
boat.
boat.
11. Look at it, we're flying. People want to see the boat. Get the boat.
Because we can sail to Long Beach. We can bring it back.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have to go around, though. It's a bit harder journey.
Great. CSNF 15. Not got a TV yet. What times is okay? So that's someone's feeling there. Do we think Clem Novalak will go to IndyCar? He's been he's been a decent talent within the F1 feeder series. Who knows? If he's got the money, there's every chance. Every chance.
The only problem is the IndyCar grid is quite congested at the moment. There's a head of a lot of talent, which means there's not much movement.
So exactly. I think because you've now had this influx of European drivers coming in as well, there used to be a normal cycle of seats. But like I said, it's going to mean that you're probably going to get more ruthless decisions on people like Felix Rosenqvist with the amount of talent out there. Because you've got in an Arrow McLaren, which is now a very competitive ride, you've got the Malukases.
Uh-huh.
you've got the VKs out there. You've got your Calamilots out there. You know, there's a load of talented drivers in this field in teams that maybe aren't as competitive in the ride. Christian Lundgaard may fancy his chances elsewhere if Rahal Letman-Lanigan don't continue to progress forward, although they've just built their new centre and it's a load of investment. So you kind of feel like maybe if you ride the storm out, they could still come good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting from there. All right. IndyCar field. Oh, congrats on 5K subscribers. Thank you very much, Dom.
Nice.
I appreciate it. I think we did that. It may even be in last year. I think in the run up to the Indy 500.
Although we hit 5K.
Yeah. So I think we're kind of just gradually going there. Obviously, the subscriber count, I think, slowed due to our content slowing from there. But hopefully it'll pick up again this year and we can just continue putting out IndyCar content and creating a good community for you guys. Felix proved himself in pretty much every formula but disappointed in IndyCar. Yeah, I think that's probably a fair description of it. Kiwis first, second, third sometimes in this season. Today is a good day for it. Oh yeah, because we got Marcus Armstrong as a Kiwi.
Yes.
Obviously racing... who's he racing for?
Chip Ganassi.
Chip Ganassi, of course.
And he is next on my grid rundown in P12. Nice showing for Marcus Armstrong there.
Perfect link in. They just knew.
Obviously, with 3 cars in the Fast 6, they've got a quick car. So Marcus being P12 is about right for the machinery he had. But, you know, for his second IndyCar race, pretty impressive stuff.
Absolutely. I think Marcus will grow through the season. The difficulty is he has, well, not a difficulty because he's in a fantastic car in Chip Ganassi, but because he is in a fantastic car that is Chip Ganassi, he is going to need to step up unless he has a load of backing like Devlin DeFrancesco, because Chip is pretty ruthless if he doesn't think you're worth the time.
Exactly.
And like I've just said previously, there's plenty of talent out there knocking on the door who will want a seat like Chip Ganassi Racing has to offer.
Yep. Yeah.
Sorry, are you on the grid run through?
Sorry,
yeah, go through.
I wasn't sure if there was a comment you were reading.
No, I'm just reading. You talk.
P12. So I'm right. Yeah. P13 we've already mentioned. Will. P14 Simon Pagenaud, the man who was the gardener at Long Beach last year. Am I thinking that right?
Who?
Simon Pagenaud?
Yeah, he was the gardener.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He bedded himself nicely into the flower bed. Yeah.
Probably wouldn't have done it mid-race, but, you know, if he wanted to do a bit of community service of gardening, sure, go for it. Maybe focus more on the race this year, but starting in P14, it's going to be a struggle. P15 for Jack Harvey, the highest of the Rahal and Lanigan cars. In P15. Crazy.
That's been their season.
Yeah. Well, kind of in the disappointment section of the grid rundown.
Welcome to the disappointment places. Those people who are turning up to race, but they realize that their race is already over.
It's like, okay, anything.
Don't you dare put Santino Ferrucci in the disappointment category.
It is a more competitive era. Stuff can happen more on street circuits, and not all about starting at the front. These guys can do something, but will there be enough pace in these cars? We haven't seen it this season so far. Qualifying hasn't shown it, but I'll carry on. Elio Castroneves is in P16. Christian Lundgaard, P17. Who's in P18?
Santucci!
P19, Rena's VK. P20, Devlin France.
What has happened to Carpenter Racing this year?
With VK and P19?
Yeah, because they have, like, VK was constantly around the top 10 mark.
Yeah.
And then he would maybe,
Got a race win.
well, yeah, he has got a race win. He's got a race pole. He loves the Indy GP road course, but what has happened to them? Because they are dreadful this year.
Yeah, well, it's like Rahal and Lanigan. The highest car is P15.
Yeah, that's mad. That is... Yeah, I don't know. Is it... Well, is it the drivers?
No, Jack Harvey's shown he's got pace. Ed comes to racing, VK's shown he's got pace. Lundgaard has shown he's got pace.
They just haven't got the setups of the cars so far. But once you start on the back foot of a season, it's very difficult to kind of work your way into that kind of topper echelons of the go from there.
Exactly. Shall I round up the final 7?
Oh, did Jets just fly by?
Yeah.
They did. They did. You heard the Jets. They were there. Ed come to racing his Panther post Sam. Yeah. Sam Hornish Jr., eh? Last champion outside of Andretti, Ganassi, and Penske.
It's the start I always ask for when talking about McLaren.
Absolutely.
So the final 7 of the disappointments of the disappointment group is Stingray Rob in 21st. Callum Ilott in particular, I don't know what happened in qualifying, but he is 22nd. Very disappointing showing for him and Hunko's Hollinger Racing. I can't remember. I kind of missed Q1.
But as always, Callum tends to keep himself out of trouble, and if there's any issues during the race, you can definitely probably expect him to kind of work his way through the grid. Now, that is a car that definitely does have pace and has benefited from being a pretty much one-driver team, although whereas Canapino, well, it may just have been their race car this weekend because Canapino's down in 26th as well, isn't he?
That's not out of character. Pedersen is 23rd. Graham Rail is 24th. Malukas in 25. Canapino in 26th. And to round up the grid is Connor Daly for the impressive and mighty Ed Carpenter Racing. Been singing their praises so far. Every time we've mentioned them, they are incredible.
Right. Never make apologies for your Sam Hornish Jr. Fanboying. I'm totally with it, Scott. Kyle, 986. You've got to stop making predictions like there's going to be a new championship leader. Otherwise, you're going to upset this guy.
I'll ban him. Who was it?
No, you
can't. Who was it?
You can't ban
Let
people.
me ban him.
You can't ban people.
I'll time him out.
No, you can't do it. You can't ban people. No. That's not happening. Right. But, okay. 2 questions. One was from Scott I saw earlier in chat. And if you've got any questions in chat, then obviously we can use this a bit of a Q&A time before the green flag. But my first question to you, Stephen, is this Connor Daly's last season in IndyCar?
Oof. Well, it just becomes an Indy 500 entry. Takes over Ed's car. Well, there's going to keep.
May not even be able to do that.
Well, it's been disappointing.
The only saving grace he has
is the team as a whole
has been disappointing.
And he does bring money. He has got sponsorship, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, he was able to secure that Bicknell sponsorship in a casino in Vegas, I believe. Was it? Yeah, wow. It was definitely in Vegas. Yeah, racing is a cruel sport. Absolutely. Right. Okay, the other one is be interesting to see people's thoughts in chats on there. Scott asked, do you see Arrow McLaren like overtaking Andretti Autosport in the kind of pecking order?
That's what happened to Ilott. He binned it. Wasn't that in practice though?
Yeah. Was that Palou or was that Armstrong? Hello. Will Power's doing a little bit of tailgating with Carl Kirkwood. Interesting. But right. And I think McLaren are already overtaking Andretti in the pecking order. Though this season, just because of what Pato does deliver, maybe Pato skews the results.
I think McLaren need a championship before we start putting them in the top 3 equation.
It's fair. And also, outside of Pato, the other drivers are consistently starting below the Andretti roster.
Yeah.
It's just the Andretti roster cannot consistently get race wins.
Yeah.
So Arrow McLaren can challenge that, but it's still probably quite difficult to dislodge Andretti.
Yeah.
Okay. Questions in chat. Hi, Zoe. Good seeing chat. One of my famous jinxes incoming. After I ruined the race of 6 drivers at St. Pete, but we are in for a rather dull race by Indy standards.
Interesting.
Good counter jinx.
You're going to go for like 3 red flags?
Say that it's going to be boring, and then it's the opposite. Let's work on that. It's going to be a terrible race, isn't it, Stephen?
Oh, I'm not looking forward to it whatsoever.
No, this is going to be awful.
It's going to be worse than Nashville.
Oh, I don't think anything can be worse than Nashville. Oh, no, I couldn't even keep it out. Oh, no. Damn. I've jinxed it out. I have a feeling we are going to see tons of cautions. Maybe. Will someone take out the Dolphins in the fountain?
I like the Dolphins, you know? I was just thinking, do you think that could actually happen with 3 dolphins jumping in the air in like a single spot, forming a kind of pose? Do you think there's synchronized dolphin diving?
So what you're saying is, if we were to create the Animal Olympics, would there be synchronized swimming in the dolphin category?
Yeah. And could they pull that off, that fountain pose?
Why not? If you can think it, it can happen.
This is what dreams are made of.
Absolutely. In before another 4-hour stream like Nashville last year. Wow. What a stream that was. That literally broke Stephen. If you weren't watching us back then and you want to, I think, skip to kind of like the last hour and watch Stephen just break,
the breakdown
then
was real.
that was going from there. McLaren are in front of Andretti by end of the race now. Only Roman showed speed at both races for Andretti this year. Herta so up and down. But you could argue maybe the same for Arrow McLaren, that maybe it's only Pato who showed pace for them. Animal Olympics. That was a cartoon from 1980 from the people that made Tron. Really?
Whoa.
There you go.
And did they have dolphins doing synchronized swimming?
Look, this is really getting Stephen. Someone needs to get synchronized.
That's impressive. If they could do that, that's pretty impressive.
We need to get Stephen in the fountain.
The first one's going to go.
Make it happen. Make it happen. Stephen to the fountain. Exactly. You forget about Felix, and you know the fact that you haven't mentioned him. You've probably forgotten about Rossi as well. All the difficult there. Oh, that's nothing. I watched an 8-hour NASCAR stream last year. All right, cool. Is it a competition, pal? 4 hours. I mean, we did another 4-hour stream, but that was the Indy 500. That's a little bit different, and that's amazing. We don't mind that. Nashville was 4 hours for, unfortunately, the wrong reasons. But yeah, I might say I talked about how Grosjean, Herta, Kirkwood, Scotty Mack were looking great. And then I said Pato looked like he had the win wrapped up. Oh, wow. Yeah, Zoe.
Is this Zoe?
Yeah, that is correct. Anyway, 24 stream when? Now!
Zoe's jinx worked out perfectly because it was bloody Ericsson.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. That was a deliberate jinx.
Knew exactly what you were doing.
That was malicious. It was violent. It was unbelievable.
Dolphins do synchronized swimming at SeaWorld. Technically, yes.
Can they do the fountain pose?
Can they do the fountain pose? To the good people. No, I'd SeaWorld as plenty of
the Long Beach fountain jump.
Brilliant. Right. To save all of you, we are actually getting cars coming out on track, so we should hopefully be getting to green flag at some of them. Did you tell your F1 buddies about the race in Texas? Oh, yeah, absolutely. And we don't have to be smug about it, us IndyCar fans, do we? We just go, it's great racing. Just enjoy it. F1, you appreciate it for the technical brilliance, the fast cars, the one-sided championship. You appreciate all of that. But you come to IndyCar to race. Absolutely.
So there's some proper racing going on.
I have tickets to watch the Mario Bros movie in 3.5 hours. Hopefully no 4-hour race. James, we all have our fingers crossed for you. It was actually intentional on Pato after the other 4.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, the most famous words in American motor racing. I know it's raining. Stop everything and run for cover.
Oh, no.
Oh, dear. Right. Will anyone end up in the garden this year? Simon, we're watching you. Oh, it would be funny. Is that on track? Is that the 2-seater?
Yeah. Lead in the grid.
Was that Mario still running it? He retired, didn't he?
I think so. Yeah, I think they took him off.
No more racing for you, Mario, but I want to race.
Didn't he bin it?
Did he?
I think he did bin it in one of the races. I can't remember if I apologise if I'm wrong in thinking
Oh, you better be very careful before you start
I know.
putting this slander out against Mario Andretti, IndyCar F1 American motorsport racing legend.
I feel like he may have had a moment in...
He's a friend of the channel.
He is.
Do not slander him before getting your facts straight.
Well, maybe he did bin it, but just had a moment in it.
Don't second guess yourself. Be definitive either way. Did Mario bin it or did Mario not bin it?
I don't know.
Did he bin it like Grosjean just binned it there?
No, I don't think so.
Did he bin it like Pato just did?
No.
Oh, jeez. Right. Mario the Great. Unbelievable driver. Right. Okay. Here we go. We've got the big hype. We've got the big montage before the race. Joseph Newgarden, last winner out. 2 races, 2 race winners. Will it be 3 races? 3 different race winners. Find out now at Long Beach with us.
After the ad break.
Cool. That was, that was a really kind of tough first stint there.
Yeah.
Actually.
Thank God for the
Those
break.
guys in chat,
These
they are
idiots
brutal.
today. Honestly.
Unbelievable.
What a terrible crowd.
Unbelievable. Oh, God, we're still live. Oh, no.
You left the mic on. We've had 3 pole sitters. You saying we're on track for 3 winners. We've had 3 pole sitters. I didn't want to interrupt your little but we've had 3 pole sitters, so we're on track for 3 winners.
Absolutely. I was just saying, apologising, this stream is a car crash as always. I did say that if you listen to my opening kind of monologue into it, it was going to be an interesting show. I don't know what I was saying half the time. Wow. Mario and Michael both hitting a safety truck in 89-90. That's it. Scott's given us the definitive history tracks. Slander away, Stephen. Slander away. Connor Daly not having a great start to the season. We did say, I can't see him in IndyCar beyond this season. Sadly, because I think he's a great personality. But it just hasn't happened for whatever reason for Connor.
Or a computer racing. Because where's VK been?
Where's VK? Where is VK? Right. We're riding on board with Roman Grosjean. We're behind the safety car. Carl Kirkwood is going to lead us to green. He's going to have Marcus Ericsson lining up alongside him. He'll be hungry for his second race win. And if Pato doesn't perform well here, interesting. Have they got that's
a nice pace car right there.
Yeah, have they got like some cartoon animated decor over it? Right. Okay, I think we're bunching up here. I think we're getting ready to go to green. I don't think we've got another lap under here. Kirkwoods, yep, here we go. We're coming round that last corner. We're going to go 2 by 2 here. Here he goes. We're getting ready to go green in Long Beach in 2023, and we're off. Green, green, green. It's a frantic start at the front. There have been places. Pato looks like he's made it up to P5, and now
Marcus Ericsson on the
oh my
inside!
God! Is that Marcus? Well, Marcus
Inside!
Ericsson there. Is that Joseph Newgarden? He's flown at the start. That is Joseph Newgarden at P4. Unbelievable. Ahead of Pato O'ward. Colton Hurd seems to maintain. Oh, binned it! It is a Maya Shank racing car. Someone said there's going to be seats up for grabs, and I believe that is Elio Castro Neves.
What's happening?
I believe.
Elio?
No, yes, it is Elio Castro Neves. I should have gone with my first instinct. Elio, no!
Joseph Newgarden. Jeez.
And whoever said in chat that I feel there's going to be a lot of cautions, shame on you.
Shame on you.
Shame on you.
There was no jinx there.
You did this to Elio. Go and apologise to that great man and say, I'm sorry that you were the first caution. But let's just get this right. What a start by Joseph Newgarden. Where is he starting? P8, P9?
I think, did he get tagged there or did he just lose it? I think it's Jack Harvey that may have tagged him behind.
Yeah, that definitely feels like a tag. Take down.
But Harvey was ahead of him.
Elio ran out of talent. Wow.
Whew.
Wow. Wow.
That was a bit of a weird start. Other than the front, who took off together, it was a very dispersed grid.
Yeah,
It didn't line up.
well, it's always difficult. You can't really do it because of your rolling starts, Long Beach. But yeah. If he can fire up his car, he could get a new front ring, and as long as his car is okay.
Yeah.
That's the positive thinking we need here. Didn't get lapped. Look at this.
Oh,
look at that. Elio!
Jeez.
If you're still on the lead lap, you're still in with a chance, as Marcus Ericsson
That's
found
impressive.
out at Nashville Race 1. Elio ran into the IRS. Now, that was cleared up with Roger Penske's lawyers back in 2009. Was it 9? I want to say it's 2009. Correct me if I'm wrong. In F1, that would be day over. Absolutely. Now he still gets to go racing. Happy days. Stays on the lead lap. Also, that livery on the pace car is really nice. It is.
I'm worried. He needs to make it all the way around. He's trying to push without a front wing. And just not bin it.
Well, it looks a cartoon strip. Doesn't it? That kind of pace. Well, yeah, I guess he's going to try and get into the pits
as quickly as possible.
Yeah, so he stays. Will he be allowed to overtake the pace car?
No, they won't do a wave round for him. If it's just one car, they'll send him back there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. 09. Look at that. Got it right. Elio, last to first challenge. Let's go! That would be great. Can you imagine? Elio, correct me if I'm wrong here, has won at Long Beach before.
Will they get him out ahead? Or they may have done it. Have they? No.
No,
they've just missed out.
I was so close. So we've got a replay here. Look, there we go. Joseph Newgarden. He's just an absolute rocket from eighth. From eighth, he's just rocketed up the field. You've got Palou and Grosjean fighting side by side, and they're like, whoa, where's Newgarden come from? So Newgarden was as high as P3 at one stage, and then Newgarden managed to see off them. Just missed the lead lap.
Yeah,
I know.
That was tight.
Real close for Elio, but unfortunately. Yeah, wow, that is just literally a fraction of a second, isn't it? I mean, realistically, I don't think Elio was going last to first today, but you never know.
It was a bit of drama you could get behind.
It was. It was. Dixon apparently upset. now.
Oh, someone's going slow. Oh, it's just it's just audio. Has he got problems?
Is his car just broke? There's Simon. He may just have to filter into position.
Yeah, but isn't he a lap down?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just filtering.
Yeah.
Got to let everyone pass. See? There you go. Your Kirkwood keeps, because obviously he only just came out behind the safety car, didn't he?
Yeah, but I thought he could have tried to run up
Yeah,
himself.
no, he's got to go right to the back. Go for now. Exactly. He had to let the field through.
Apologies.
He did win at Long Beach.
Anyway.
Weren't making that stuff up.
Here we go again.
But I don't think we're going to see any fence climbing today. But here we come round the last corner. Kirkwood leads us to green again. And
Good
wow,
get away from him this time.
it is a great getaway. I mean, after the start, obviously you have to go 2 by 2, so that makes things a little bit more difficult. But yeah, it's spread out. Grosjean, the front three kind of got a good pull away. Colton Herter is looking on the back of Scott Dixon there. It says Pato O'ward is behind Dixon, but that doesn't look to be the case. It looks like Pato O'ward has made that place up, and he is ahead of Alex Palou as well.
Remember, he's on the primary tyre. Primary?
That's it. He's at early stages of education there for Pato O'ward. He is on the primary school tyres.
Palou's eating him up, and he's got to try to hold the best he can, because this is going to be his worst stint in the race. He's not on the race tyre. He's just got to survive. But he is getting eaten up by both Chip Ganassi cars here.
Yeah, both of them have now overtaken, and you're going to look that Colton Herter on those fresh green alternative tyres as well. Wow, looks really slippy on those. But just, yeah, like you say, he's got to try and not get so eaten up, because if he can stay in the top 10, there's real potential that he can kind of be a big benefactor. These kind of early laps are going to be the real tough test for Pato O'ward to go by. He's defending well here against Colton, but Colton will get a chance. He looks like he definitely has a lot more pace on there. Scott McLaughlin didn't get as great a start as what his teammate Joseph Newgarden got. His stayed pretty much in 9th, and Felix Rosenqvist is rounding off the top 10. Alexander Rossi, I believe, is in P11 just there, but we'll obviously cut out watching this as we ride on board with the Colton Herter Pato O'ward fight, because it's going to be pretty close.
Oh, there goes Rossi.
Yeah, that's Rossi just coming up into the top 10, taking over his...
There comes Felix on the switchback.
Oh, look at that. Or is it? Because I'm pretty sure Rossi is the number 7. No. So, yeah, Rossi is the one was lining up the move, and he does get past Felix Rosenqvist.
I'm confused with the three McLaren cars. It was so easy to tear them apart last year.
Now it's so much more difficult. Marcus Armstrong is still just outside the top 10 in P12 where he started. And Will Power, P13. Pagenaud up to P14. That's a good performance for him as it currently stands. And Jack Harvey has maintained his position 15. Christian Lundgaard up to 16th. I believe that's quite a good start for him. Eilert is having issues. He is back in 25th as it stands, only just in front of teammate Canapino, which makes them pretty much dead last because Castro Neves is a lap down with obviously that early caution. Pit lane was closed when he pitted. Palou is Bobby Rahal Jr. Yeah. Best part of the IMSA race was that the Penske Porsche never changed tyres. Really?
Whoa.
Wow. That's insane. Great tyres lasting on that. Right, but we ride out in front with Kyle Kirkwood, the man who started on pole position, defended the lead from Marcus Ericsson on that. He got a good start to the race, and on the restart after the early caution, he has managed to kind of maintain and have a good first stint out here as well. He's got a second gap to himself. Oh, that is probably why Callum Eilert was dropping. He's picked up a puncture somewhere. He's going to have to try and get that car back to the pits. Otherwise, we're going to be looking at another caution here. Goes from there. You've got to hope that it doesn't kind of properly go under that front wing. and go from there. No, he's managed to get it in. The rubber's off. So I think we managed to clear a caution there. We're on lap 7 of 85 here at Long Beach. But yeah, unfortunately for Callum Ilott, that has made a difficult day a whole lot more difficult.
Yes, indeed. I wonder what happened there. Is it debris from the Edio incident? Or has he had contact with someone?
Potentially. He was obviously running 22nd, wasn't he? Mm-hmm. He had dropped 3 places to Canapino. So maybe himself and Rahal, or himself or Malukas had a coming together. Maybe we'll see replays of that. Or if you guys are listening to commentary, maybe let's go from there. Not sure we go from there. Ilott Tyres doesn't look the best. No, I'm presuming that was just meant to be Ilott Tyres don't look the best. Right. Okay, so that's. Ooh. I think he just got. Oh no, he is in there. He just ran wide and he's got himself. Oh wow, Colton Herta must be fuming there because he was having that run. McLaughlin's come through. Everyone's got to kind of work their way quickly through. So Rossi, the 2 McLaren drivers, Rossi and Felix Rosenqvist, going to be making their way through. Callum is not having a good time. I don't know if he's had contact on that front wing. It just doesn't look stable.
It doesn't look settled, yeah.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it's got contact.
He is on the black primary, so he's on the slower tyre. They take longer to warm up, so it could just be tyre temp issues. As Felix is going to get stuck behind him for a good chunk of this lap, which isn't good for his little bow with Rossi.
Bow, that sounds a pretty scary instant, to be fair. 23 of you in chat and only 20 likes. What's going on? If you don't mind leaving us a like. Oh, 20, we've got a boat. What are we getting? We get a plane, don't we, at 30?
There's quite a lot of boats here.
There is. A boat it seems to as well. Oh, shook the screen there. Sorry, everyone. That was our earthquake simulator. 21 likes. If we get to 30, we get an aeroplane to the States.
Long Beach.
No, we'll be late again. Where's next? Barber,
yeah.
So we'll have to get over to Alabama.
Nice.
Snap. Right, so
Felix got past, but there's a bit of a gap now. As the pack slowly makes its way through Callum.
So, yeah, Ilott kind of continues to fall back and be a bit of awkward backmarker traffic as it goes from there.
Look at this, him and Armstrong.
It's just like F2 all over again, isn't it? Need a new boat after the championship sunk earlier today. Don't say that, sorry. Believe in Mick Arteta.
Still in our hands.
We've got Super Mick Arteta. He knows exactly what we need. Tierney at the back. Gabby in attack. Arsenal on the way to win the league.
I think they're showing us the replay of
Ilott hit the wall. Okay,
I missed it.
Got to start a GoFundMe for a month of May coverage. Yeah, we probably do, don't we?
For the whole month?
Yeah, just
in and about Indianapolis.
Just gets us there. We'll take a month off work to kind of get out there.
Eesh.
That did not look pretty.
That happened early on in the lap as well.
Yeah. He did well to get it back, to be fair, because he was riding with 3 tyres there.
Yeah.
In fairness, that does remind me of one of the more exciting F1 races in recent seasons, of that Silverstone one with Lewis Hamilton doing the last lap on 3 tyres.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's what you call a proper blowout. Oz Racing.
Willpower on the inside. What a move.
He's only just got past. Ilott really is causing a little bit of trouble for those kind of back markers at the moment, isn't he? Mm-hmm. Go from there. Right. So let's give a quick run through. We are lap 11 of 85 here at the Acura GP of Long Beach. Carl Kirkwood, our pole sitter, still leads. Marcus Ericsson staying with him in P2. Roman Grosjean maintained. So the top 3 remain unchanged. Our biggest mover, maybe not of the race. I need to probably kind of have a look and see who's the bigger mover of the race. But certainly out of the top 10 was the biggest mover, moving up from P8 to P4. Had a fantastic start. Alex Palou, P5, and Scott Dixon, P6, ahead of Pato O'Ward, who is hanging on in there, only 6 seconds off the leader. Started P6, Pato, so he's only technically lost 1 position from there, and that's with Newgarden coming into the top 6. So he's doing pretty well considering he was the only driver in the top 6 to start on the primary tyre, as opposed to the rest of the field starting on the alternate. So bearing in mind that he's going to be able to run alternates for the remainder of the race, as it looks like definitely that is going to be the race tyre of choice today.
You want to know who else is on those black primaries?
Who?
Joseph Newgarden.
Is he indeed?
The guy took off at the beginning who looked like he was on alternative tyres. Turns out he's on the primaries and is looking fantastic, only 3.5 seconds behind race leader Carl Kirkwood.
Joseph Newgarden just forgot where the brake pedal was and just went deep into it and went, oh, wow, I'm here. Whoa. But that is why, Stephen, when we were discussing pre-race and you were like, Newgarden seems pretty downbeat about things, I don't listen to him because he's super competitive every time he gets in a race. This race still can go bad for Joseph Newgarden, but he's just such a great driver.
There he is.
There he is, Joe New.
Feels very dispersed at the moment. About a second between each car. Second, half second.
Kirkwood does really look to be in the zone. Most impressive was Robbie Gordon's blowout at IS in 95 when he kept it off the wall. That does sound really impressive. Marcus is catching up to Captain Kirk as the tyre stint goes on. Yeah, he is indeed. But I would imagine, interesting. So you've got all the push to pass kind of seconds there. Not many of them use. Felix Rosenqvist actually has been quite heavy on it so far. The top 7 have barely used any. The most has been kind of Dixon and O'Ward, using about 11 seconds each. Herter's used a little bit more from there as well. But yeah, Rosenqvist is a real kind of big user. And Canapino, but he's way kind of down in 24. So interesting to watch how that develops through the race, because as you're coming out of pit windows and you're trying to get hot laps in there, I'm going to imagine they're going to be really keen at the end of the race. Whoever has the most will be either useful for chasing or defending, depending on which way round they have it. I
think Dixon's just hit the wall there. Or maybe it was just a bit of...
love tap.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a little kiss. I was like, love you, Long Beach. Have a kiss.
Bit of dust kicked up from wall contact, but maybe not. Doesn't look like he's been affected.
Only doubt I have about Joseph is I think he may have complex about the 500. He may do, so he may never win the 500. But in terms of championship, the 500 now not being worth double points puts a championship even further in favour of Joseph Newgarden.
Yeah.
Because he definitely hasn't been a big benefactor of those double points in recent season. 27 likes. So where's the boat at? We've ordered it.
Yes.
I see there was disappointment in lack of visible scene of the boat. So, Steve, can you make a paper boat? Something like that. Just anything to hand. Great. No. There.
I got cars.
Yeah, we'll show a car and imagine that it's a boat.
I may have a boat.
Okay. We'll see.
Next caution.
Next caution. Right.
See you next caution, boat.
The boat is panning across the channel as we speak. Absolutely bound. Joseph is, in my opinion, the greatest of his time. I think he will be when his career is done. I think he will be. He is an exceptional talent. And for the time below that, I think Pato O'Ward will be the greatest of his time, of his generation.
Generation
for sure.
is a good term there. Where we got? Have we had any other movers? Not really. Just looking up the grid. Kirkwood's extended his gap on Ericsson a little bit. When is the first pit window? I can get that for you.
Zoe, are you willing to admit the race will be a bit dull yet? Now, do not jump to conclusions early, because IndyCar races, especially in early stages, are a little bit of kind of chess games. They're all about placing, they're all about strategy, they're all about hitting early fuel numbers, making the first stint last, so that it then gives them options going forward. So very rarely in the first stint do you see drivers in IndyCar take big risks. And in the pit stops, that's when there's going to be some real kind of movement in this grid, and it's going to be the first kind of real intrigue. So I will wait until this race has concluded before I make my definitive judgment.
First pit window is about lap 25 to lap 30, although, of course, we did have caution, which would have extended slightly. So probably more around lap 27 to 32, I would say, for the first pit window.
We are now seeing green slower than the blacks. Look at the gap between Grosjean and Newgarden. Interesting. So
we haven't got the time sheets at the moment.
We're in an ad break. Well, we're not in an ad break. We can see cars running. There we go. Right. So, yeah, there's about, 0.6 of a second between Newgarden and Grosjean. That definitely has closed because that top three did get themselves a little bit away. And Herta's now going to find it difficult. I think that ILOT's kind of getting in the way of Herta really hurt him in terms of getting past Pato O'Ward. But he may just settle for 8th place in this current stint.
Pato's just been sitting on the back of Dixon, but there doesn't look to be any significant pace advantage at the moment.
Hello, Greg. Great to see you in chat. Colton Herta is a drummer. Yes, he is. In a, indie punk band type thing, aren't they?
I can't remember the name. I feel like I should know the name. I should know the name.
You should know the name. Remember the name.
He did. I did see Dixon hit the wall. It was just a little graze.
Woohoo! Oh, that's nothing. That's a little. Look how close I'm running my margins.
Oh yeah, he didn't sacrifice any real time.
That's
why I started doubting myself if he had actually hit it or not.
Although he is. Yeah, fair second there. So you've now got Newgarden closing in on Roman Grosjean. Wow, yeah, he definitely looks like Newgarden looks like he's flying out there. So yeah, look, he's gonna go. He went dummy on the outside. He's now got on the inside.
Whoa.
What a move from Joseph Newgarden! Wow, that. If you ever need an example of how good Joseph Newgarden is as a driver, show him that overtake. Great. The way he set up the move.
Scary. As Ericsson drops further back and into the clutches, or Joseph Newgarden as well as Carl Kirkwood tries to put as much gap between him and Newgarden because time is running out for these guys on the green alternative.
Yeah, I was going to say, if they're starting to hit the drop-off or, Newgarden's is just in a happy window at the moment, he is just flying out. I mean, yeah, look at that. He is absolutely eaten into that gap with Ericsson. You're looking at another pass maybe next lap in terms of where he is. The tyre advantage on those turns. But it isn't just the tyres, to be fair, because Pato isn't really making up any ground.
He's just been stuck behind Dixon, about half a second behind. He's just been there for quite a few laps. As we're about 5-6 laps away from the first pit window. I was thinking the guys on the black primaries may want to try the undercut But if they've got a pace coming back to them, maybe they'll go long. Maybe the black primaries are looking a bit better of a race tyre than possibly anticipated.
Oh, I've seen an oh no. Oh no? Oh no. Or is that Zoe just a rare mistake?
Is that, oh no, Marcus Ericsson's going to go.
Oh!
Dixon!
Oh, we're behind Scott Dixon. Wow, the Iceman is out of the race. And that is true from Zoe in chat there in terms of, yeah, when do you see Scott Dixon not finish races of his own accord? Maybe he gets in a collision with another driver at some times.
Jeez, he had a bit. Is there going to be contact? Pato's made a move. Dixon's gone loose, and there's contact.
Wow. That is a rare time that Scott... But it shows how competitive Scott Dixon still is. Did Pato ever at any point have his race car in front? Is that going to be... I think it's just racing.
Gaps there on the inside.
Exactly. I think that's just racing. But could Pato get a penalty for that? Dick's out. Unbelievable. Pushing around the old man. Oh, Aaron. Dixie back on track. Yeah. Dixon had room. Dixon did have room. He did turn in very hard in on him. Wow, that
it's a tough one because it was a lunge from Pato. But the door was open on the inside.
It was, and Dixon did turn in very aggressively on the apex.
He's going to stay on the lead lap.
Well, just about. Well, yeah, I guess
he's not going to lose. Obviously, we're going to go. I wonder if people go early here for their first pit stop.
Well, if you go early, then you commit to a 3-stop. And as we saw the percentages pre-race, if you go on a 3-stop...
Do you back another caution? Well, you go back onto the 2-stop.
You can always back cautions in an IndyCar street race. But to gamble your strategy on it when you're in the top... But yeah, he's going to need a new front wing and a new set of tyres there. I imagine Dixon will go on to the 3-stopper. There should be no penalties. It was just racing. Yeah, absolutely, Scott. That's why I agree. Chris, great to see you in chat. Does that ruin Joseph's strategy? Potentially.
Because the black primaries were really coming on. As we've seen, Pato was making a move on Dixon.
Yeah, Dixon has saved his teammate Marcus Ericsson because it looked inevitable that Newgarden was going to take him. And then we'd see whether he'd have the pace to get past Kirkwood. But Newgarden in the pits as well. He has one of the best crews in IndyCar in the pit stops. And as Scott said in chat, he bought his seat with Penske with the only currency Penske knows. Talent. What a line. Love that. Newgarden should stay with the primaries on the second stint. Be interesting. Yeah, they thought the alternatives were going to be the race tyre, but just seeing how they drop off performance-wise on that stint, I don't know if
with the track more rubbered in, will they last longer in their second and third stints?
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. So we are seeing them come into the pit. So Kirkwood, Ericsson, Newgarden, Grosjean, Palou, O'Ward, Herta, McLaughlin, Rosenqvist, and Rossi in the top 10 have all come into the pits. This is the race on pit row. We know how important it is. Joseph Newgarden has that box right near the front there. It's going to be interesting to see where he kind of gets out. Has a long run there. Whoa, Rossi kind of crashing in. Not crashing in quite literally. Go from there. Looks a good stop from Joseph Newgarden. Whoa!
Oh, Newgarden's got Ericsson. Newgarden's got Ericsson.
Wild. He managed to get Ericsson, but whoa! By hitting that throttle hard.
Pato's got Palou.
There you go. The racing pit row. Is there any contact? Whoa! No contact. He almost got Cole Kirkwood. Almost got Cole, but there, like you said,
from the Penske boys.
Like I was just saying beforehand, the Newgarden crew, they are incredible crew in pit row. And this is the race in pit row really does kind of play a big part in street courses. The timing sheets need to kind of make it there. Newgarden isn't quite leading this race just yet. But yeah, it can be interesting. Dixon and sadly Pagano is in the pit. So I'm assuming, oh no, that was just a pit stop. Go from there. Dixon is still in the pits though. So maybe that damage was a little bit more troublesome.
No, he's back out.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay. Armstrong jumped from P12 to P8 on that stop. Go on, Armstrong. Very interesting. Was definitely one to watch. That was a heck of an exit from Newgarden. That was bang, slam your foot on the throttle and make sure, well, it was almost the race lead. So I'm not surprised. Newgarden now has gone on to greens though. So he hasn't gone with race strategist Don Davis in chat.
Unbelievable.
He just didn't listen. What? The message got lost in translation. Don. They needed the primaries on, but they've gone for the alternatives. And Pato's.
Do we know if is Carl going on primaries, or is he going to leave theirs as last one? Yes, it is. Everyone has switched to the other tyres that they weren't on. So maybe Newgarden will make a quick lunge here off the restart on Carl Kirkwood to try to get the race lead. Effective race lead, as of course, Canapino leads us off by not taking his pit stop and will lead a lap.
And I think we do need to, raise awareness that Santucci has made his way into the top 15 with AJ Foyt Racing.
Well done, Santucci.
Thank you. In the famous number 14 AJ Foyt Racing car. Sad that car isn't very competitive nowadays. Just on the stream, race rundown so far. No problem at all, Joel. Try and give you the time sheets. Yeah, Canapino's still out front, so that's where I go from there. And they've cruelly taken the timing sheets away. Steven, do you have the timing sheets up and we can do a run through?
I do have the timing sheets. Do you want me to give you the rundown?
Absolutely. Give it for Joel.
Canapino leads us. Carl Kirkwood P2, Joseph Newgarden P3, Marcus Ericsson P4, Roman Grosjean P5, Pato O'Ward P6, Alex Palou P7, Scott McLaughlin P8, Colton Hurton P9, and Alexander Rossi rounds up the top 10 in P10. Will Power jumps up to P11, whilst Felix Rosenfest P12, Marcus Ericsson P13, Jack Harvey P14, and Santucci, as mentioned, makes it into the top 15 in the permanent timesheets viewing area. Is that the right word? I don't know. Renus VK is P16, David Malukas P17, Graham Rahal P18, Devlin Francenchuk mucked up his last name, P19. Connor Daly from last to P20. What a drive. P21, Christian Lengard. Stingray Rob hasn't moved, 22. Simon Pagano, P23. Scott Dixon, after fisticuffs with Pato, is now P24. Benjamin Pedersen is P25. Callum Ilott, P26. And Elio Castro Neves rounds off the grid in the mighty P27th.
Wow. Take a breather, Stephen. Unbelievable. Santucci, the world's fastest texter. Stop it. 30 likes. You can get the boat now. No, we've got the boat. We can now get the plane.
I was going to get the boat in the caution. Unbelievable.
We're getting the plane.
Are we going green?
Unbelievable. Yes, so we're coming to green. So Canapino is leading this Grand Prix, but obviously he is yet to pit. He is on a different strategy. So inherently, Carl Kirkwood still has this race lead, but he's managed to get a good start there. Ahead, there is a kind of few back markers. It looks like Elio Castro Neves is there, but Joseph Newgarden is closing behind. This is going to be his chance. These back markers are going to play into their... Oh, the Uncos Hollinger Racing teammates. Oh.
1, 2, 1, 2.
1, 2. Whoa! Who got a little bit loose there? Elio Castro Neves is going around the outside. So Callum Ilott and Elio. Make sure there. Pato has gone through on Grosjean. Pato is up to P3. He is making those Newgarden's there. Oh, and he's gone.
Oh,
Pato spins. Championship leader Pato O'ward
He's still
spins.
going,
He's still in. He's still
going,
in the
still
ring.
going.
Has he got any damage? But he maybe went for one ambitious move too many. Colton Herta now looks to defend Alexander Rossi. Old teammate going through there. Marcus Ericsson. Is that Marcus Ericsson? What happened to Marcus Ericsson in the pits? He is way down.
P3. He was still P3 at the restart.
Wow, then he has had a terrible restart. Maybe he has had a kind of little kind of running with the wall as well. But Newgarden has taken the leads. We've missed in all that chaos. Newgarden has taken the leads. He has passed Carl Kirkwood on track. He now passes back marker Elio Castro Neves, and he'll be making his way past Callum Eilert. But Newgarden has had so much pace in this race. He was flying on that first stint on the primary tires, and now he's on the alternatives, and he's made it count. He has now got a 1.8 second lead on Cole Kirkwood already. Roman Grosjean comfortably sitting in 3. Scott McLaughlin is up into P4. He is now flying, and I believe he is on the primary tyres as well now.
Poor Canapino, he is getting bullied left, right, and centre. He was leading an IndyCar race, and now he's just looks very out of place on the track.
Nobody knows where Canapino is. Not even Canapino knows where he is.
And I think we're about to see a replay of the Newgarden move.
Oh, okay.
Newgarden on the inside.
We saw Canapino was causing absolute chaos. And that's...
Oh, and Pato just loses on cold tires.
Oh, so that's where Marcus Ericsson goes as well. So Pato lost it on cold tires, trying to make the move on both Kirkwood and Ericsson. Is that? Newgarden had already made the move at that stage.
Yeah.
So that's where it had gone. And then contact with the front wing of Pato O'ward and Marcus Ericsson, which meant that why Marcus Ericsson dropped down as well. But Grosjean managed to stay out of trouble for once in this situation and maintained his P3 position where he started the race. Actually probably helped Marcus Ericsson giving Pato that little tap because he'd slowed right down.
Just enough not to take the front wing off, but correct his position. Exactly,
a little bit quicker.
But who's missing the front wing there?
That looks like VK and Malukas have had a coming together. Yep, that is Malukas. He has come off there. I don't know if it's going to get a caution because it looked like it was a side road. But yeah, looks all good. So Joseph Newgarden leads the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach. Don't know why I said that weird. Kirkwood P2, our pole sitter, hasn't been able to kind of convert there. So if Newgarden wins this race, he will take the championship lead and he will be our first two-time winner in the championship so far. Where's Canapino? Probably trying to take some islands in the Atlantic. Pato got what he deserved with that lunge. He got bold with the Scott Dixon one and got away with it. And then went aggressive there. Pato didn't need to go aggressive. He'd already made a great move. I know he wanted to maybe take advantage of being on the alternatives with those guys on the primaries early doors, but that gap was a tricky one because, yeah, there were too many cars there. It was a bit messy to kind of go for both of them. Looks like Little Dave is out. Oh, Little Dave.
Special shout out to Scott McLaughlin. He's in P4. Obviously starting with Newgarden in P9. He's made his way up into the top 5 as well. I was writing off the Penske's before, and they look incredibly strong at the moment.
Also, is there a potential shout out to Jack Harvey, who is now running P11? Palou and O'Ward, obviously O'Ward we saw, but I don't know what's happened to Alex Palou. He's dropped down to P12. The Chip Ganassi guys have not, after he's saying they did so well qualifying in the top 6, all drivers qualifying in the top 6. Now they have one driver in the top 6 in Marcus Ericsson. But yeah, they've really kind of dropped off the pace apart from rookie this year, Marcus Armstrong is in P10.
He hasn't really moved anywhere other than just from incidents.
Exactly. Just kind of slowly stays out of trouble. Will Power, we said, wasn't having a great weekend, like you said, but he has moved up into P8. Alexander Rossi is now the best placed of the Arrow McLaren cars, running P7. Watch him. He may be someone to watch in this race. We're now on lap 30 of 85. here at Long Beach. Cole Kirkwood sticking with Joseph Newgarden. He may have gone hard on those alternatives early. And it's going to be interesting to see where those primaries come into play. The primary may actually be the better race tyre as things stand. And the alternative may be the tyre that you've just got to get out the way. So maybe Joseph knows that. And that's why he decided to go onto the alternates on this stint. And he's going to do a last stint on the primary tyres. Because, after that initial kind of kick off burst, Kirkwood is staying right there with him, and Grosjean's right up there. McLaughlin will be wanting to get in on this fight too. I think we're going to have a really interesting one. And Zoe, I'm going to say it, I don't think this has been a dull race so far.
It's exploded.
It has exploded into life.
Gee, the top 10 is properly top 15 kind of is completely mixed up now. Like saying Jack Harvey and P11 there. Salvaging something for Rahal, Lenneman, Lanigan after a dismal weekend so far.
Dismal season, you could probably extend it to. I like Pato messed up. It makes the championship race tighter. It does indeed. And it is a rare mistake. Well, in fairness, we see rare mistakes from Pato and we see rare mistakes from Scott Dixon. Arguably, you could maybe say Scott Dixon wasn't a mistake, but I'd say he probably turned in quite aggressive. But this was quite... this has been an uncharacteristically aggressive drive from Pato, I would say.
Maybe the frustrations of the first two races have taken their toll. He's getting a little bit frustrated. Despite being championship leader, is he desperate for that first win of the season? A bit too much.
Every street race is becoming Nashville. Great to see you in chat, PJ. And let's hope not every street race is becoming Nashville. But we're running green. So that's Marcus Armstrong now taking Helio Castro-Neves. He is on to the rear of Felix Rosenqvist. Is he going to be able to kind of make a move coming up there? There are... Is he on the primaries there? Do you want to give a run through of the top 15, what tyres they're on?
The tyre rundown.
The tyre rundown.
Newgarden on the alternatives. Cole Kirkwood, Grosjean on the primary. Scott McLaughlin on the alternative. Colton Herta, Marcus Ericsson and Rossi on the primaries. Will Power and Felix on the alternatives. And Marcus Ericsson on the primary tyres. Here's your top 10. You want me to keep going?
No, we can do with that. That's good. Red mist affects every driver from time to time. Absolutely. Absolutely it does. There you see Jack Harvey running in P11. He's just made his way through back marker Helio Castro-Neves, who is the only car now not on the lead lap. Malukas and Canapino are out, I believe. Full stop. Canapino, after leading the race, he is just... I presume that's not a pit for tyres. I presume that's just a pit of... It's over for me.
Just got terrified.
He was just getting eaten up. It was... Kirkwood made contact with him, didn't he? So maybe he did a little bit more damage than we thought. Although the rear of those cars do tend to be kind of quite robust. Who are we riding on board with here? Is that a Graham Rahal that we're on? Maybe up to P16?
Feels like a Graham Rahal.
It does feel like it, my Jack. Yeah, there it is. It is Graham Rahal. He's on the verge of making his way into the top 15. He's just got Ed Carpenter Racing's Rinus VeeKay in front of him. Rinus VeeKay, I guess, is on track to be one of the biggest movers again.
Yeah,
within the race. Where did Jack Harvey start?
P15, so he's only up 4.
Yeah. And where did VeeKay start?
P19,
Okay,
I want to say.
It's only up 4 again. But yeah, interesting. Maybe Graham Rahal is the biggest mover. Interesting to see. VeeKay has had a very meh season so far. He has indeed, which is a shame because he's exciting. Colton Herta Having a look at the back of Scott McLaughlin, he's going to be wanting to make his moves. Curter is managing to stay out of trouble so far. And, you know, the Andretti curse hasn't quite hit just yet. We have 3 drivers in the top 6 for Andretti Autosport. And in the politest way, we wouldn't expect Devlin to be there anyway.
Newgarden is the biggest mover.
Is he?
+7.
Wow.
You have Willpower +5.
Nice.
McLaughlin +5.
Yep.
I guess actually, where did no Frucci's +4.
I'm just going to take you back to pre-race when you were saying the Penske's weren't looking great. I was like, well, don't rule them out in the top 10 here, because if you told me at the end of this race, like if both drivers were in the top 5, I would not be surprised. We've now got Newgarden leading this race and Scott McLaughlin in P4. Although Cole Kirkwood is looking quick. He's looking to close Joseph Newgarden, following closely here. Is he going to make a move in the coming laps? This is going to be an interesting battle. Obviously, the young American driver being so good in the Road to Indy ladder. Got the big move to Andretti Autosport this year. A lot of people thought that he would have been in the seat last year, but with AJ Foyt Racing, he kind of had a baptism of fire, shall we say, in the series. Certainly learned some kind of hard racing skills in the back of the field, but he secured his first pole position here at the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach. And will he get his first race win and make it 3 different race winners if he's able to overtake Joseph Newgarden here? Newgarden has looked very strong so far, but we know those alternatives, once the tyres drop off, there is quite a distinct pace difference. I mean, we didn't get to see the full kind of benefit of it for Joseph Newgarden with that caution coming out with Scott Dixon and Pato O'Ward's incident. But Carl Kirkwood, Roman Grosjean, they will be lurking in Joseph Newgarden, ready to take advantage. And that's also where Herta will be taking advantage of Scott McLaughlin if he possibly can. Lucas is jealous that he's not a bus bro. Hurt is just angry. Angry is not a bus bro. Everyone's angry that they're not a bus bro. 31 likes in chat. Great to see. I sense a Herta moment incoming. No.
Dun, dun, dun.
If he gets close to McLaughlin, we know there is always the potential for big lunch.
No.
I hope not. I hope not. I always like to see Colton do well. But, yeah. Interesting. So, I think Pato...
Ooh.
Whoa! That is interesting. That could have... Hopefully, that wasn't any sort of real damage. And that's just kind
a plastic bag or something.
Yeah, but that can get caught in the front wing and mess with the aerodynamics of a car.
Seems like
because...
Flying out.
F1 related, I believe Kevin Magnussen got one caught.
Wasn't it Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen?
I believe it was, yeah.
Spa?
Yeah, that also came in. But yeah, I think Kevin Magnussen got one in Singapore.
That was a tear-off. I'm now remembering in Spa.
Right, so Newgarden leads the 2 Andrettis of Kirkwood and Roman Grosjean. They are hunting him down as we're now in lap 38, this 85-lap race here in Long Beach. It has been a cagey opening to the race, shall we say, but a couple of cautions. And Joseph Newgarden on a real kind of, well, he stormed out from the start, didn't he? Made up 8 to 4th from there. And then after the first pit stop, he's made his way up he made himself up to kind of P2 and then overtook Carl Kirkwood early in the stint. But let's look there. Is that Rossi who has slowed down and maybe made a bit of contact with the wall there, I want to say? Or maybe he was just a little bit slower off the pace. He is about 3 seconds off Marcus Ericsson. Will Power would be overtaking him if he did make contact with the wall substantially, I think. But yeah. Hunting in packs, these Andrettis. Can they go? What is a bus bro anyway? Sorry, it is.
Scott Dixon's moving slowly. It looks like his race is run. As he looks for the runoff exit there.
That will be frustrating for Dixon. He's had a strong kind of point starting season. And yeah, he was in a great position again to get another strong points finish. But unfortunately for Scott Dixon, his day is done. The PNC Bank crew won't be happy to see the 6-time champion retiring early from this case. Bus Bro is the YouTube kind of series between Joseph Newgarden and Scott McLaughlin. They call themselves the Bus Bros, but it's just kind of some behind the scenes footage for fans and all sorts really. They kind of do little challenges there, but yeah, it's a good little bit of bonus content for IndyCar fans. Mike and Steven should be Bus Bros. Thank you, John. We will take honorary membership. Dick's out again. No. If he learns, Herta being separated from his dad could be very good for his career. Could be. Could very well be. Maybe could have been some tough love, certainly in that equation. 17 of you in chat currently at the moment. Great to see so many of you sticking with us through this race. 40 laps, so we're coming up to the halfway mark. As I said, Newgarden still leads. McLaughlin is managing to hold on about a kind of half a second advantage over Colton Herta. But again, it seems like it's split into the top three have kind of split away with the leader going out in front. And then after that, you've just got some closer cars going out. Bus Bros is what the series should strive to emulate. Absolutely, it should. Brother JP, hey boys, it's been an exciting race so far. Absolutely, it has. So thank you for Zoe's jinx, everyone, for saying that it was going to be a dull race, because it has not been a dull race so far. Plenty of intrigue that has happened in the championship standings and also race leads in today's race, and we can see how it's going to go from there. Rahal has made his way into the top 15. So he has managed to find a way past Renus VK. So you've now got two Rahal Letman Lanigan drivers in the top 15. You wouldn't put it past them with their race pace, or with a race pace that seems to be quite good, staying out of trouble, for Harvey and Rahal to both get top 10 finishes if there's some trouble further upfield, which there could be, because there are going to be some ambitious moves. There are some ambitious drivers in that top 10.
It's turn one. I can feel a good run here from Cole Kirkwood, because it looked like Newgarden got a bit loose going into the final corner. And here comes Cole Kirkwood with the power of the slipstream, maybe using a bit of push pass. Just runs out of road.
He's
so close now.
This is now looking like that time where the alternates switch, where they start lapping slower than the primary black tyres. And this is going to be a tough defence to the end of the stint for Joseph Newgarden, I'm sure.
Another about 10 laps on this stint that Joseph Newgarden's going to have to defend from. Interview of Canapino. How do I feel late in the race? Doesn't look too happy about it. Probably gutted because he's actually still not racing at the moment.
Well, you know, if I'm a racing driver, I am going to go from there. Who are you rooting for victory? Don't know.
Pato!
Well, Steven's Pato, but that's looking far more ambitious nowadays.
Nowadays? Just today.
Just today.
Nowadays.
Yeah, that was
really dropped off, you know. He's really a has-been driver.
Colton Herta! He has made the move. He's gone round the outside of Scott McLaughlin.
Whoa, what a move. Clean move from Herta. Got it done.
Great move. And now Marcus Ericsson is having a look at Scott McLaughlin. Clearly, he's on the alternative tyres as well. He's got to defend hard here. Ericsson's going to have a good run. He's going to maybe look to go on the main straight. If he gets a good exit here, it should be an easy pass for Marcus Ericsson. Yep, Scott McLaughlin doesn't fight that one too hard. The tyres are really dropping now on those alternatives. So I'm excited to see us go back to the race leader soon, because Alexander Rossi could be coming into the top 6 for the first time today as well, if he can get on top of Scott McLaughlin after having a fantastic pit row and starting this stint in P4. Scott McLaughlin now has dropped down to P6 in the space of a lap. As you can see, I thought, we want to get to this kind of race lead because Kirkwood and Grosjean seem to be piling up. Who am I rooting for today? You know what? Because I've been impressed with him so far this season. I'm rooting for Roman Grosjean, to put it out the bag. I'd like to see a Road Gro win. I think it would be good for the series and good for the championship for Roman Grosjean to win a race.
For sure.
Scotty Max looking a bit tired. Bow, honestly, your comments in chat crack me up.
With the way this is going, if this stays green for this stint, Newgarden could be in trouble with these two Andrettis charging down. Because he's still go about another 6-7 laps on these tyres. Can he survive?
The only thing is, which will benefit Joseph Newgarden, that, he's got to be careful that he doesn't fight too hard that he completely drops off. That he Whoa! Contact! VK, and I believe that's Christian Lundgaard, and he makes it. That's great racing with VK and Lundgaard there, and Lundgaard makes the move. Does get himself past Rene's VK. That is Pedersen on track. That is going to be a caution. That will be absolute music to Joseph Newgarden's ears.
For sure.
That should kind of get him to the next stint.
Is he on track? I don't know where Pedersen is.
Look, he's restarted.
Beach?
That has to be a caution. I've seen a guy coming out with a yellow flag.
Is he in the exit area?
No, he's not in an exit area. I think it is just he spun and lost it coming out of the corner. Right, so Pedersen there. He goes wide.
He is in a runoff area.
So
there won't be no caution.
Okay.
Or do they need the caution to get the safe? No.
No. Okay, Newgarden is not music to his ears. There is still no caution. They've managed to get past Pedersen, no issues. That's a tricky one. Where's he at? I'm not sure where he was at, but it will stay green, it looks like. That does look a safe area.
Is that the first corner runoff area, isn't it?
Well, he's got restarted and he is back on track. So, they've managed to avoid that. That is good that we've got green flag racing because it keeps this race interesting. That could have changed the complexion of the race. It could have done, but we have stayed green. Just a local yellow it was in the end. Next round of stops very soon. It is indeed. Looks like Joseph Newgarden's found a little bit more left in these tyres. I don't know if he's using push to pass to defend or whether, he has just got a little bit of extra lease in the life of the tyres. Kirkwood isn't as close as what he was looking at before. I think he's just going to rely on pushing behind him. So, I think Scott Dixon's going to be talking about this incident with Pato O'Ward. I imagine the 6-time champ's not going to be too happy with the Mexican driver there. And I'm not entirely sure Emma Dixon's going to be too happy about it either.
The door was open. Pato was making the corner.
9 laps to the window open. 9 laps. Newgarden's got to survive out here.
We're thinking 9 more laps?
Yeah, no, that's what it says. Scott says 9 laps to the thing. Will Power overtakes teammate Scott McLaughlin. In the mix, McLaughlin has lost out to Alexander Rossi. McLaughlin really is struggling. If he's got 9 laps to go, this could be his race run because he is dropping, as we like to say here on Indy Fanatics, like a lead balloon.
Like a lead balloon indeed. As Ericsson gets all over the back of Colton Herta. Are we going to see a lunge from the Swede? From the sneaky Swede of Marcus Ericsson?
It's interesting to see as well. Andretti's had qualified strong here, and they are currently running 2, 3, and 4 in this race.
Marcus Ericsson makes a move on track.
Wow.
As he takes Scott McLaughlin.
Scott McLaughlin is going to need to pit because he has lost it. He is going to just have to bite this one on the tongue because he is just falling way too much to kind of make it to this end of the stint, surely.
Jeez. He's desperate for a caution, Scotty Mac.
Obviously, we view things without sounds, but yeah, it doesn't sound like Scott Dixon came across very well in that interview.
Oh. Didn't come across very well.
Sounded a bit of a sore loser.
Fair enough.
In fairness, I never take too seriously what drivers say in the heat of the moment. If you're taking very competitive individuals and just after them losing out on competing in a race and you put a mic in front of them, generally not many of them are going to come out with well-reasoned statements.
No.
Wow. McLaughlin has dropped all the way back to P11.
Wait. Oh no, sorry. I keep thinking that we're watching. That is the Newgarden, isn't it?
Yeah, that is Newgarden,
okay.
and that's Pedersen.
I was like, someone's overtaken Newgarden. It's not Carl Kirkwood.
What's happening? Oh, that was a good move on the back marker as well.
Look at that. Look at this. Finally gets out of the way, Pedersen.
Kirkwood is fiery. He is a man hungry for his first win in IndyCar. And this is a guy who is used to being at the front of races in a race car. And wow, okay, that looks a little bit of trouble. I don't know if Grosjean's getting a little bit tighter.
Bless you.
Thank you very much. I think Grosjean's biding his time on this stint. And we'll have learned last year that he maybe doesn't want to make enemies of his teammates too early in the season.
True. And it's the last stint where you want to actually make the plays because we still got a whole pit window to get through. As we're thinking about five laps away now, we think about that 55.
Sounds about right to me.
Because they can do about 30 laps, I believe, of green laps on fuel. So 55, I guess, would be the pit window opening.
I'm going to go with that. Let's say that. Interesting one from Zoe. Thinks that Ericsson may become the lead Ganassi car within the team. Obviously, you've had all that turmoil around Palou, so I don't know how the team works. Go from there. Palou may be a better shout for the 500 and Dixon. But I don't know. Dixon has been pretty consistent in the top 5 this year.
You just say Palou's a better shout for the 500 compared to 500 holder Marcus Ericsson.
Yeah, I did say
Interesting analysis there.
Very interesting. I don't know.
Palou has come close, but obviously Ericsson's got the job done.
It still doesn't sit. It sits not weird with me, but I still don't kind of. He deserves the plaudits and credits because the Indy 500 is such a hard race to win. Oh, contact there between Palou on his move on Scott McLaughlin as he continues to make his way floating down to the back of the field.
5 seconds off Palou. And that
crazy.
Move was only last lap.
I think O'Ward maybe did receive a little bit of damage because he hasn't made any sort of.
Well, he is on the alternative tyres like Scotty Mac, so
yeah, he's probably real suffering at this stage of the race as well. And he's got a certain Santucci.
Oh, Colton Herta on Marcus Ericsson. No, sorry, obviously Marcus Ericsson's the one trying to get past Colton Herta. Locks up, nearly bends it, holds it together, and Herta keeps the position.
Good racing there between the two, and to keep it clean as well. What an over and under by Herta, absolutely. Chris N, is this just a 2-man race between Kirkwood and Newgarden?
No, Grosjean's there.
Grosjean is there.
I would call it a 3-man race, possibly. But you got to keep Grosjean in the equation. Biding his time for the final stint shootout.
And I'll be honest with you, he's won here before.
Ericsson looks like he's made the move now, Colton.
It
looks like he made it into turn 1 with the power of the slipstream. Maybe a bit of push to pass.
Depending on how well they run their races as well, I wouldn't necessarily rule out Ericsson and Herta, but there is some fantastic racing. It's a great battle on track here, these two as well.
into turn one.
Just looks like Ericsson has looked after the tyres a little better. Look, he continues to defy expectations, Marcus Ericsson. He's won a race so far this season. He's, put himself in great contention for points today. He's running a good race.
Surely Whoa, Pato's dropping back. Pato's dropped out of the top 15. I've just seen it. Maybe his tyres are gone. Newgarden opens the pit window on lap 53.
He cannot wait to get off those alternative tyres to get back onto the primaries. He was on fire on those earlier. That was a tough stint from Newgarden, but he's done well to kind of make it all the way.
He kept in the lead. He didn't let Kirkwood or Grosjean get any advantage on him. And he goes back onto the black primaries.
It definitely looks the
like
race tyre
today.
But it certainly has worked out that way, that temperatures-wise, it has worked there. Grosjean's pit crew out, so I don't know if they're only going to have a couple of laps out there. It looks like Pato O'ward. So maybe that was Pato's reason for dropping out. He's coming to the pit stops.
Yep. I don't think that was a reason for going slowly on track, but
oh god,
it's probably the reason that he's come in.
Santucci, P11 right now.
Santucci, the only driver that gets a constant shout out.
As president of the Santino Ferrucci fan club, I just have to note that a P11 for the AJ4 Racing 14 car is a fantastic performance so far. Okay, Newgarden back on primaries. There we go. So Grosjean has pitted and he goes on to primaries as well. As we said, looks like it will be the tyre of choice to the end of the race. Alexander Rossi, that must be him coming in there. I don't know if he would have slowed him up at all. I don't think it was. It seemed like it worked quite well on a release. Looks a good stop from Arrow McLaren there for Rossi. He's certainly keeping himself for a good and his best kind of race finish for Arrow McLaren so far, which is good to see with Alex Rossi as well. Grosjean is out ahead of Newgarden. Grosjean is leading the race. That's why we said don't rule him out. He has managed to make the overcut work. Yeah, very impressive from there. So now we have Cole Kirkwood in the pits. Can he overcut both? Well, he was ahead of Grosjean on track, but can he get ahead of both Grosjean and Newgarden? It's going to be interesting. It's going to be tight here. Needs to be a good pit stop from the Auto Nation Pink 27 car. The tyres are on. It looks clean there. Fuel looks a good stop. Looks a good stop. Oh, I don't know. Actually, maybe that front left was a little bit slow as they come around the final corner. They're making it out onto the straight. Colton Herta is in the pits as well. It's on the pit limiter. Where is it going to go? Where is it going to go? Is Kirkwood going to come out in front? Oh, now they're only on the final. No, they just make the race start. Oh, God, this is going to be tight. This is going to be tight. Kirkwood is out in front. No, it's not tight at all. Kirkwood is miles ahead. Marcus Ericsson comes in behind as well. So he's going to be right up with that front group. Now they're going to be all on the same tyre strategy. Rossi's come out. They're interesting. Herta has still stayed behind Ericsson. So now, as it looks like Palou is still out on track, but Kirkwood leads, Grosjean leads Newgarden. Newgarden pitting early, getting off those alternatives. He's got it all to do on track now, which is going to be difficult. He's going to have to find that pace that he found earlier on the primary tyre. But the disadvantage for him this time is that both Kirkwood and Grosjean are on the same tyre. Scott McLaughlin, is he out? Don't want Grosjean to win. Oh, JD, not a Grosjean fan.
Yeah. Grosjean has a bit of a moment out of the last turn, so he drops back a bit from Kirkwood. Doesn't get the run on him into turn one.
Palou pits, and where does Palou come out? That's Ilott.
That's not bad.
To confuse, it was a green car. I got excited. I was like, surely he didn't have that much of a lead in. was falling into there. But yeah, go for it. Looks like Scotty Mack is 11th now. Yeah, he really kind of suffered on that stint of the primaries. And also Pato O'ward, 16th. He'll be hoping to make some places, some late moves to see if he can make any sort of way into it.
Really needs a caution.
Jack Harvey, big sufferer in that last round of pit stops, was for large parts of this race the highest running Rahal Letman Lanigan car.
Plo defends, but Rossi on the switchback. Plo get a bit edgy out of the corner. Rossi's going to have the run. He has the inside.
It's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. Fantastic racing between those two there. Rossi maintains being in the top 6. Plo new coming out on fresh tyres. Cold tyres. It was going to be difficult to defend it.
Now? Has Plo lost a bit of momentum here and he's going to get eaten up, or will he survive?
Well, he was running P10, so he's already had a great stint on that overcut, but he's going to need to kind of survive on these cold tyres and make sure that Will Power doesn't get past. But yeah, like I was saying, Jack Harvey, big loser for Rahal Letman Lanigan, was leading the team for the majority of this race, but now Rahal and Lundgaard are both ahead of him.
Yeah, they're all together, the Rahal Letman Lanigans.
Is Rossi a shout of the 500? Rossi is always a shout of the 500. The timing of that caution is showing. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is. Why is Grosjean very good in races and doesn't win? Best he don't win.
Grosjean ain't keeping pace at all with Carl Kirkwood here.
Not sure I understand, JD, but we'll go with it. I want Grosjean to win because I decided to add his as my backup driver this race, but I also chose Newgarden too, so I either get a 1-2 or a 2 DNFs. Yeah, I suppose so. Right, we are on 58 laps of this 85-lap race at the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach. It has been it's been a really good race so far. Plenty of intrigue. It looks like Andretti are on track to maybe is Maybelline.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Maybe get their first win of the season and for a while.
And that's a jinx if ever I've seen it. So let's strap ourselves in for the Roman Grosjean Carl Kirkwood clash at the front, as both of them are going to end up in a tyre wall together, tangled up.
Well,
Newgarden wins the race.
You went a bit
Do you
past
think it's
it.
time for our snack?
It might be time for our snack. Corn! Big bag of corn!
It's a gigantic bag.
It's a huge bag of corn! Bag of corn! So it's closing in on 25 laps to go. Be interesting. Another caution will really bunch it up and make things interesting, and it could be a crazy restart. But also, if it stays green, who's going to stay out there? Newgarden really has not caught up. It looks a 2-horse race, but maybe not the 2-horse race that you thought it was going to be in Newgarden there. It could be a 2-horse race between Grosjean and Kirkwood.
For the Andretti's. Who knew?
Who knew?
Corn! Their first appearance this year? Or did we have them for St. Pete?
Not sure. I think we might have had them for St. Pete.
Interesting. Wait, Marcus Ericsson and Joseph Newgarden? Newgarden's dropping. He showed so much dominance in the first 2 stints. He's now dropping. As Ericsson recovers from his earlier little entanglement with Pato.
Yeah, Ericsson is flying out there.
Yeah, but he's still 5 seconds off the top 2. you have pulled away massively. Newgarden was there, wasn't he? He was there with Roman Grosjean. Now he's gone. Where is he? Has his lack of confidence pre-race finally caught up with him? Where's the pace in the Penske gone?
Stephen, what tyres are Kirkwood and Grosjean on? I believe Grosjean is definitely on the primary. I presume they're all on primaries now.
Everyone is primaries. I will double check.
Don Davis, Kirkwood's race management is impressive, yet not unexpected due to his dominance in the Road to Indy calendar. Certainly true, Don.
Everyone is primaries.
Scott McLaughlin is P11, JD. Sorry. Had done really well after the first stint, made himself up to P4, but had a really kind of difficult stint on the alternate tyres in the middle and dropped a load of places in the kind of last 10 laps of that stint, and it's cost him. And it's going to be difficult for him to make him way up. But rookie Marcus Armstrong is in P10 at the moment, so that's good for him. Push to pass. Roman Grosjean is sitting with 158 seconds compared to his teammates' 70 seconds. Ericsson's used up a lot of it, so that's going to be difficult. So Grosjean is sitting in a really good position to win his first Indy Grand Prix.
But remember, he's got to finish this race. He's just got to finish this race. The first two races, he was in great positions for at least a podium, if not a race win at St. Peter as well. He's just got to finish. He can't be stupid here. He's got to bide his time. With that much push to pass, you can do it on the home straight. He can't make any silly lunges.
I don't know if Newgarden's got an issue with his car, but he's already lost 4 seconds on Ericsson, and Herta is about to overtake him and move into the top 4.
Where's the pace in the Penske's? They look so quick. They look so slow in qualifying, but they look so quick in those first 2 stints, and the pace has just gone. Will Power hasn't really changed anywhere. He's just slowly made his way up through incidents in P8, but Scotty Mack and Newgarden's pace has just gone.
Hope there's a crash and a restart. JD! How? McLaughlin is Australian. He's New Zealand, actually.
Is Herta going to be in a position to lunge here?
Oh, no. Zoe has done it.
Oh, this is a good last corner from Herta. He's got the run in. He's going to do it before turn 1. Bye-bye, Newgarden.
Easy.
The only saving grace for Newgarden is Pelosi 5 seconds behind, so he's going to wait a while to be overtaken again. He can keep on P5 for a bit.
But that is interesting because that means that Polo had overtaken Alexander Rossi again. So yes. Polo could be looking at a top 5 finish again.
Obviously, he started P4, so he's kind of gone backwards a little bit, but recovery.
The new Scott Dixon is there, as always.
The new Scott Dixon.
But the sneaky Swede has really sneaked his way into that top 3. It's been a great performance from Ericsson.
Let's not forget, Ericsson did start this race P2. He's had his adventures, like Polo. They have gone backwards, but they are recovering in this final stint where it matters. You may have looked great for the first 70% of this race, but that ain't where the positions are decided.
I expect an apology and saying I was right when Kirkwood crosses the line first. Sorry, I will happily apologise if you do that. But if you have jinxed Carl Kirkwood from saying that you can't see him losing this and Grosjean wins, that's on you. Yeah, I think, Brothers JP, it is great to see kind of people go. I mean, it's just what you like to see in IndyCar. You just like to see the drivers going at each other, being competitive. You don't like to see one driver dominate. And yeah, it is brilliant to see the drivers being so competitive, for sure.
Surely, so he's got to commit to the double jinx. Get another Marcus win out of this, right?
Interesting. Why does Grosjean always have so much push to pass. Well, I imagine there's a tactic from Grosjean that if he can be quick without using the push to pass, then when it comes to the business end of the race, he can either defend a position strongly or he can, really be the aggressor in the closer laps. But Cole Kirkwood, barring a jinx from Zoe in chat, does look like he's checking out a little bit here.
Or is it going to be checking out too early? Although we've seen those primary tyres, we haven't really seen them drop off. So maybe you can't really take much life out of them, much valuable life out of them. As we see...
Santucci!
Rahal
gets past McLaughlin!
Wait.
Oh, yeah, it's Rahal.
Is Rahal trying to make a move on Santucci?
No, that can't happen.
Sorry, yes. There's change camera. This ain't going to happen.
Nope. Banned. Oh. Zach Grosjean got caught behind a back marker there.
It does indeed. But will the slipstream help?
Blue flag! Blue flag!
There ain't blue flags, Grosjean.
What?
Oh, dear. Go!
Corn!
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 Corn! Corn! All right, there we go.
Oh, Max Ericsson wins at Long Beach.
Wow,
We just skipped
spoilers
forward.
alert. So they're saying Ericsson has won the first race of the season. Joseph Newgarden won the second race of the season. Will it be Cole Kirkwood to win the third race of the season? Find out in about 15 laps. 20 laps.
With 20 laps to go?
Yeah, we're about 20 laps to go. Whoa! Newgarden is dropping. He's dropping quick. Look, that is Palou. Who has made the move on him? You said it was going to take him a few laps. It's only taken him a couple laps. If Newgarden keeps dropping at this rate, he's going to finish outside the top 10 with his teammate Scott McLaughlin.
Where's the pace gone?
I don't know. I don't know if he's hit a wall somewhere. He's picked up damage. He has just lost everything. Yeah, the results from this race will mix him up, but I believe it should put Marcus Ericsson probably back as a new championship leader again. Wow. I mean, I just can't believe where that pace has gone in Newgarden for sure. Why?
Nice move from Palou there. Sent on the inside and kept his line. Oh, Grosjean, there's a moment with the wall. Hello.
Grosjean, just see at home, lad. Just see at home.
Lap 68. So we got quick maths. 17 laps to go.
Yeah. Quick math.
Quick maths.
Zoe, I'm not going to say anything until Kirkwood has crossed the line. He's a fantastic driver. He has driven a fantastic race. He's had a fantastic weekend. But there are still 17 laps to go as Stephen's quick maths decided for us.
News on Newgarden, the worst he can probably do is drop back to P10. So you should still get a P10 here. Pato is now last.
Come on, Grosjean. Do it for England. Yes. The French-Swiss driver to do it for England.
Do it for England.
Do it for England.
Pato's now last out of the lead lap runners. What's going on there? Has he picked up actual damage? Because there's no pace on that McLaren.
Hope you're having a good time in Long Beach, Melissa. It certainly looks better weather out there than what it is here in the UK. But
we get blue sky. We get blue sky now.
Yeah, we do, but probably not as nice as what it is out there.
Probably not. No.
There you go. That shut you up. Where is Scott McLaughlin now at? Still P11, JD. Sorry, no update on him. Man, I love watching Indy races. Don't we all? Don't we all?
Jeez.
You know who's on for a top 11 finish?
Hold up. Roman Grosjean's made up about 0.8 of a second on Carl Kirkwood.
He's just pacing himself. He is just pacing
Whoa,
himself.
hold up. This could drop below 1 second in a minute. Not even a minute. About 30 seconds time. Maybe Grosjean is finally unleashing.
There he is.
Push to power.
Oh my God.
Stockpiles of the DHL Andretti. They got so much push to pass. He's unleashing.
Zoe, you're starting to feel a bit nervous now?
As we are under a second now. We were 2 seconds. We were 2 seconds a lap or two ago. Now we're under a second.
Here we go. Ericsson's closing in a little bit as well. I think he'll be too far out for that. And Herta's quite happy just to sit and take the P4 as it stands. But this is going to be an exciting end to the race for sure. You aren't factoring in the Grosjean factor. It's a very strong point. It is a very strong point. So many fans would love to see Grosjean get his maiden victory. I think they would. Nah, he's 11th. Oh, God, I don't know. "15 laps to go." Hopefully he doesn't take out his teammate. Let's hope, because then that gives Marcus Ericsson another victory.
Rossi's about 2 seconds off Newgarden. Will the collapse of Penske carry on?
Will Power might have to do some defending just to keep his teammate in the top 7.
Hell no. Power's going to go straight past him.
He might do. Right. 14 laps to go. Ericsson is starting to pick up the pace a little bit as now and see if he can grab on to the back of this pack. Grosjean is keeping the gap around about a second at the moment. He's going to bide his time, see if he can put in some good laps. It may just be race management from Cole Kirkwood of just taking it easy for a few laps just to make sure he doesn't take too much out of his tyres. He knows he has not a great push to pass advantage as Grosjean has in this situation. Whoa!
Wasn't that last year? I remember that. Then we had a sad-looking Marcus Ericsson standing on the side.
We did indeed.
There
he is. There he is. There's the sad Marcus. No.
Alonso.
When he was in the championship hunt, eh? These tyres are getting pretty worn out. It could get spicy. It could get very spicy. If people's tyres start to drop, there could be massive changes in that top 10.
Just look how much Scotty Mack fell.
And that top 10 is kind of, well, yeah, exactly.
Obviously, these black primaries do last longer than those green alternatives. Because I don't think we've had someone drop on the black primaries pace-wise.
Bow, I like it. I like it. If Grosjean wins today, it'll be all thanks to me for making him my backup driver today. And if he doesn't, it's not my fault. They need a restart. Maybe, JD, maybe they do. We have got, well, the problem is you're going to need a caution to fall pretty quickly if you're going to get restarted before the end of the race, and for it not to be too troublesome, because when you start getting into the last 10 laps, it gets tricky. But Grosjean is right there. Right there. When's he going to start making the move? I think, we're getting 12 laps to go. This is where he's going to really start to reel down Carl and put the pressure on and see kind of how, the young American driver really holds under pressure. Grosjean has been racing for years and years, but it has been a long time before he's been competing regularly at the top of the field, probably since his junior career days, to be fair, because he was never regularly competing at the top of Formula One races. So although he doesn't necessarily have the experience of it, he has a lot of racing experience, and he will put a lot of pressure on Cole Kirkwood to make a mistake. And that's what a lot of it happens on a street race, because the margins are so fine. You just have to nail lap after lap as the chaser and put enough pressure on the guy there. But Kirkwood has managed to put, looks about half a second gap almost on it from there. Palou has taken Herta.
No,
So
I'm not sure
Palou,
if the timing sheets have gone a bit weird because they just put Armstrong in P7.
oh,
So Herta's still P4, Palou's P5.
but maybe that is something to look out in the closing stages. 11 laps to go. The Lotus was quality. Absolutely was. Not Kirkwood, but a very clean race. I think people are making their predictions from here. This race is brought to you by the good folks at Allspice. Andretti curse incoming. No, don't say it, Big C Burger. Don't say it. We don't want that.
Rossi was only a second off Newgarden in that chasing pack, and they're all quite tight. If Newgarden really hasn't got pace, he could drop way back to 10th. Which would be such a shock from where he was.
Well, he's only
leading the race after that second stint.
He's only technically made up 2 places now.
Yeah. True. He was the biggest mover. No, he is not.
What insight there? What insight from Stephen? He was rapid. Now he's not.
No, he's not. Tell you what, I think Ferrucci may be the biggest mover.
Santucci?
Santucci.
Santucci, biggest mover. He's made about 10, hasn't he?
Possibly.
He was kind of in the 20s for sure. We're riding on board with Kirkwood. He was your pole sitter. He has led the most laps here, I believe, at the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach with 10 laps to go. Can he see it over the line? Now, we have seen plenty of drama in the last kind of 10 laps of the season so far. We have seen Grosjean and Scott McLaughlin kind of come together, and obviously Pato lose out to Marcus Ericsson. We have seen Newgarden and Pato O'Ward go wheel to wheel with each other, and a late caution brought from a crash from Grosjean bring that drama to a close end. But there were multiple kind of like position changes at the front there. Now, in the final 10 laps here at Long Beach, will it be Carl Kirkwood to win his first Grand Prix in IndyCar, or will it be Roman Grosjean? At the moment, it looks like Kirkwood has got it absolutely, well, he's got it solid, but Connor Daly is not going to get involved in this fight at all. He just moves to the sides and he goes, I'm just happy to be racing.
Oh.
Kirkwood expanding the gap. Kirkwood now has Daly in front of him. He does indeed, but it didn't cause any issues.
Ericsson's slowly catching. He's not catching enough to probably be in the equation of the race win here, but he has cut 2 seconds on race leader Carl Kirkwood in this last stint. Probably more. He's probably cut more like 3 or 4 seconds off Kirkwood.
Yeah, it's going to be too much.
Probably too much for him to do, yeah.
Yeah, too much for Ericsson to do. But I guess maybe if Grosjean pushes too hard, there's potentially a P2 for Ericsson. That maybe is a more interesting kind of...
Grosjean's dropping. Grosjean was under a second and he's now trending towards the 2 second mark as Ericsson sets his sight on P2. He's already got the championship lead regained if he finishes this race where he is. But now, he wants more.
It'll be interesting. I don't know if they would kind of do it. I don't think it does kind of tend to happen in IndyCar, but I wonder if Grosjean maybe got a note on the radio to kind of be like, maybe we'll take this one too.
Is Grosjean kind of the guy that listens to team orders?
No.
No.
But He may also want to keep his teammates happy. But in fairness, Kirkwood has had the pace all weekend. He's been the quickest Andretti car, and bar Newgarden, he's looked the quickest car consistently out there. Newgarden, you thought was going to cruise it, but yeah, Kirkwood's has flown.
Newgarden's surviving in P6, as you mentioned him. I remember to check. He's holding the gap to Rossi about a second, so it looks like he won't drop back all the way down the order. But yeah, Newgarden, what a shocker.
You're now at a stage, unless it is a really kind of short caution, like a car stalling on the racing line, any caution now would pretty much be the end of the race. So this is it. Grosjean's not going to rely on any kind of caution to give him like a close run into Kirkwood here. He's just got to do it out on track and put 8 or 7 better laps in than his young teammate.
Quick maths.
It was quick maths.
6 to go as they cross the line. One more time.
Grosjean has brought the gap down a little bit, but Ericsson is right here. He is right here. Could we have a late charge from Marcus Ericsson? We didn't really have him in the equation. Grosjean is definitely in the sights, potentially, for Marcus Ericsson, but it's probably too much for Carl Kirkwood for sure. But yeah, it may not be the fight of Grosjean for Carl Kirkwood. It may be the fight for Ericsson and Grosjean. And if that's the case, that will play perfectly into Kirkwood's hands, because it will mean that Grosjean just has to focus on defending rather than actually chasing him down.
I think push to pass wise, though, Ericsson hasn't got anything in the tank. I believe he used quite a lot up going for Newgarden, and probably so far in the chase for Grosjean.
Oh, there was a pit. I thought that was just a car going into the wall, but obviously the pit at Long Beach is kind of that little hidden passage from there. I just was like, oh my God, because he was coming slow. I just thought, oh no, wow, he's just crashed into the wall. That's it. That's game over. But no, we are running green. 5 laps to go. No, I think Ericsson hit us. If it happens, I'm going to lose it. That was Kirkwood in St. Pete, just for everyone. And that was Kirkwood in Texas. And this is Kirkwood in Long Beach, leading the race. He certainly took our, wow, David Malukas is great, and went, screw you guys, I'm great too.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm in the better car, and I'm going to make advantage of it, and I'm going to win this race. 6 laps to go. About to be 5 laps to go as we come around the last corner there.
No real inroads being made here. You got to think all Carl has to do is just drive 5 clean laps.
He's doing a fantastic race so far. This looked like a fuel mileage, and Honda won. Absolutely. Honda definitely won the kind of fuel mileage race from there. Yeah, absolutely. Because the Chevys, I mean, the highest placed Chevy at the moment is Rossi in P6. In fairness, I don't know where Pato O'ward would have gone in this race if he hadn't have been over ambitious early doors. Go for now.
I just realised you saying Rossi P6. He got Newgarden.
Oh wow, yeah, he did. Wow, yeah, that's happened. God, we've just lost there because we've been so focused on this race for leads. Is that Pato O'ward that we're coming on the back
Pato.
of? Interesting one to see. Will he get his way in the fight there? So make an interesting point. Grosjean very good at conserving the push pass, but yet to really take advantage of it. Absolutely. 3 cars.
The push to pass does use up more fuel, doesn't it?
Yeah, so it may be that Grosjean hasn't hit his fuel numbers, so hasn't really being able to kind of...
Because this has been all green. This last stint has been all green. There's been no caution. So obviously there's been no fuel-saving laps.
Pato O'Ward is not going to get in the way of this fight for the lead, apart from with Marcus Ericsson.
Well, he has to take the racing line for the corner.
You touch me!
Gets right out of the way, though. So that may cost Ericsson, who is showing up as 2 seconds behind, but I don't think he is.
Well, 2 seconds behind Carl.
Yeah.
He's 1 second behind Grosjean.
Maybe he didn't lose too much there on Pato.
4 laps to go. This is going to be interesting. Is there going to be any change in the lead of this race? I think the rest of the places... no, Newgarden has lost another position. Newgarden drops to where he started this race.
That, 153 seconds on Grosjean.
Wow.
But surely it's fuel that's stopping him from really unleashing.
So maybe he's just trying to hit fuel numbers and doing like a last 3 lap just of kind of all hell break loose, kind of go from there. Santino, Ferrucci and McLaughlin as well, still in the hundreds on their push to pass from there. Very interesting in terms of that. It does, look like fuel-wise, they hasn't saved as well. But I just don't think, is that number going down at all? It's not. Will Ericsson make a move? Will Ericsson make it? It's a good sign to see Ganassi take the fight to Penske this early in the season. I won't discount McLaren whatsoever, considering their excellent drivers and equipment. Why doesn't Rogro use push to pass? I don't know. Absolutely. It's got to be fuel numbers. I wonder if anyone's on commentary kind of noting why he's got so much push to pass and hasn't used any of it. He could... I don't know. It didn't work out for him, but I remember at Barber, maybe a couple of seasons back, Will Power kind of stocked up there with Alex Palou's championship winning season when he won that race at Barber. Do you remember? Will Power was chasing him down and had a ton of push to pass and just used it all on basically the last lap.
Yes.
I wonder if Grosjean is looking to do a similar sort of tactic to that. But like we said, if there looks like there's going to be a change in this top move...
They're both going for it. Grosjean's going and he's taking Ericsson right with him. Will this be heartbreak at the end for Carl Kirkwood?
Woo! This is not going to be a dull finish, that's for sure. This is tense. Where will it go? It has maintained a second. Can he find anything, Grosjean, here? Can Kirkwood hold on?
Grosjean is using the push to pass.
How much is he using?
Not too much. Ericsson's using a ton of his push to pass. He's used about 20 seconds.
It's 2 laps to go. Has Grosjean just accepted P2? I don't know. He's kept it within a second.
This is where he's going to unleash, surely.
I guess he's got half. With Ericsson being there, that's where... Has he used it at all? He just doesn't look like he's gained anything on that straight. This is where it's pretty much been in. It's final lap. Kirkwood just needs to keep it clean for this final lap. Kirkwood leads Grosjean, leads Marcus Ericsson. Will Marcus Ericsson make a late last lunge? Grosjean has kept the gap within a second, but I don't think he's got anything on it. And it's caution, that's it!
No, they'll hold the caution. He's in the runoff.
He's in the runoff, so we are going to go green to the final race
That's
here.
Rossi.
Oh no, it's not Rossi! Oh no! Which means Will Power somehow finishes the highest of the Team Penske cars today. Armstrong, fantastic race from Marcus Armstrong's in P8. But this championship lead, Grosjean's gone. He's got nothing. He's got nothing to fight here. I think Ericsson's going to settle to it. So we are going to have Carl Kirkwood finish in P1. He's going to win his first race in Indycar as he comes round the last corner. Carl Kirkwood is a winner in Indycar. He wins the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach. Well done, Carl Kirkwood. He led from the first lap when he secured pole position yesterday. It's been fantastic. Is there a new young star in Carl Kirkwood in the Andretti Autosport team? It had always been in previous seasons about Colton Herta, but Brian Herta, the best kind of race strategist with Andretti Autosport, did leave his son to go with Carl Kirkwood in the 27 car. And he has, in just his third race with the team, secured his first race win for the team. Before vastly experienced Roman Grosjean in the team as well.
Oh, yeah.
Very interesting to do with there to see how his season will kick on from this point. But it was a fantastic race from Carl Kirkwood. Yeah, what's your thoughts, Steve?
Yeah, that was mega from Carl. To keep the composure and calmness. I said at the start, will this be the beginning of Carl Kirkwood's legacy? First race win in the series.
First race win in the series. It was a good race. Zoe, I apologise. You called it 20 laps early. Carl Kirkwood just was seeing it home, was an easy win. No problem at all, Don. Glad you enjoyed the live stream on terms of that. The Andretti curse is pretty much for drivers named Andretti at the Speedway. It is indeed, but I would go for that. Yo, what just happened? As a Alexander Rossi fan, I cannot imagine your pain right now, Steph. Oh, God.
Newgarden, the man leading after the second stint, finishes. He dropped way back to P10, all the way to P10, but obviously I think he then goes up to P9 after the Rossi incident.
Wow.
Yeah, what happened to Rossi?
I have no idea. Off to see Mario Bros. Thanks for a good stream. No problem at all, James.
Nice.
Enjoy the movie. It wasn't a 4-hour race. We made it, guys. We made it. Just the kind of standard 2-hour race. Yeah, not too many cautions. Was some good green flag running. There were some great overtakes within that race as well, for sure. And yeah, a really strong performance from Carl Kirkwood, and fantastic performance from the young American driver. This guy is highly rated. He was incredible, and that is no understatement, his performance through the road to Indy ladder. And a lot of people expected high things from Carl Kirkwood. And now with his first race win in Indycar, can he go and deliver? Can he be the driver that Andretti have desperately needed in the past few years? Alexander Rossi was their last real championship challenger. Colton Herta, everyone thought would be the guy. But now, will the Andretti Autosport team rally behind Carl Kirkwood and he be the guy to lead this team forward in the future? But Roman Grosjean had been running absolutely fantastic in the first two races and hadn't finished. He does see home the P2 today. I do think that a race win for Roman Grosjean isn't too far away as it currently goes. But Grosjean, quick to congratulate his teammate yesterday on getting the P1. I wonder if he'll be as quick to kind of congratulate on the race victory.
He just had no answer for Kirkwood in the end.
No.
And it must have been fuel. He just couldn't fully send on the push to pass fuel-wise on that last stint. Unless they had a other issue. But what a mega drive.
Super.
From the young American superstar.
He's a really driven, focused lad. And he's going to be hungry. He is going to be hungry for more victories now. He is... When you see sports men and women who are just winners, you see people like Carl Kirkwood. He is a guy who just knows how to win. So to get his first win so young and so early, I know obviously he's not necessarily as young as what Colton was, but yeah, is this the victory that kind of kickstarts Carl Kirkwood's season? It's going to be interesting to see how he goes. I wouldn't expect him to be a championship contender this year. I think he's quite overcome by emotion. Oh, bless him. What a race. Geez. I mean, considering that Carl Kirkwood has had no financial support really through the road to Indy ladder, it's all been on talent and merit that he kept earning seats. It's got to be a kind of surreal experience to kind of get that first win in IndyCar. Yeah. But now your first win, can he go on and really make a name for himself and be championships and Indy 500 winner?
Yeah, for sure.
Grosjean could only use about 30 seconds to push the pass because of fuel at the end. I see. Kirkwood has a very Newgarden way about himself. He does indeed. It's going to be interesting to see how it all unfolds. Hurt is fast, but lacks the maturity to be a leader. Rogo came to Indy as a life preserver. Oh dear. What a weekend for Kirkwood. Well-deserved win, absolutely. Well, guys, I think that's probably about time to kind of round off this stream fantastic victory from Kyle Kirkwood. Fantastic racing. It could have, on another day, been Newgarden's win, but just kind of a last stint that it all kind of fell apart for the, race leader. He just kind of fell right back, didn't he, in that stint, all the way from 1st to 10th. A crazy bad kind of last stint on there.
About 30 seconds behind the race leader.
We've got a new championship leader as well. I believe Marcus Ericsson has come up, and Pato O'ward had a day to forget, really, with some risky moves. And didn't certainly make a certain Scott Dixon happy. But if you're new around here or haven't done so already, what can they do, Stephen?
They can like, subscribe, and ding that bell.
Ding it! But for now, you Indy fans, keep racing!